Good evening, everybody. Talk about coming in late and unprepared. That is yours truly. So, welcome to the show. Yep, everybody. I'm sorry I'm late. It was a long day at Epcot today, and it kept getting longer and longer. But I finally made it home. Literally stepped through the door not 2 minutes ago. So I am here. And yes, that's why there wasn't a mailing. I see Tim Guerrero is thinking that potentially maybe there wasn't going to be a show. There is a show. There is a show. Although one that I don't have a list in front of me to go by or anything like that. But I have made it one way or another. So welcome to the show. As many of you know, we've it's been a busy week for me. My son's been in town, and that was where I was at today. He was taking the day off from his acting gig that he has going on here in Florida, and he was going to Epcot. So we decided to go as a family and hang out, and we did that all day. And it just kind of kept thinking we were going to leave, and a few things kind of kept getting in the way. And now I finally made it. So welcome. And it's yeah, it is what it is. So let's see. So how is everybody tonight? I guess that's a good question because I'm not seeing the chat interact with my stream at the moment. But here, all is well. Definitely all is well. So yes. Sorry, give me 1 second. Give me one literal second, and I'll get caught up here. But yeah, so tonight we are definitely going to be speaking with a few folks. We're going to be talking to, let's see who we got on here. I've got Bob Layton's going to be joining me. I've got, let's see who else I got. Actually, nobody else. I mean, other than it turns out Chris Snork is not going to be coming in with me tonight. We've got, who do I have joining me? I forget. Chuck Arnold. Chuck Arnold is going to be hopping in this evening. And sorry, I'm doing a couple. See, like I told you, I'm coming in too hot tonight. There we go. Now, he upgraded to LEDs, no eyelashes. Oops, I guess I showed my cards. Any Mannix, Aloha Dino. Sorry, I'm just going through things tonight in a few minutes. Bill is trying to open his new case of Zevia. Is that true? Is that true? That's not the way, not what I had expected to be doing to start the show tonight. But sorry, still multitasking here. I've got a couple of emails I had to send out to people. But yeah. It is interesting. All right, there we have it. Yeah, for whatever reason, my chat has frozen here in the studio, and that's why I can't see that anything's going on. Very interesting. It's going to make for an interesting chat if I can't watch what you guys are saying in there. But I guess I'm going to figure out how to make that work. Can't like leave and come back. That is not an option. But all right. So I had a text Kazra, am I live? And he says yes, but I do see that everything else is working. But yeah, I don't know if it's a StreamYard issue or it's an issue here with me. But the last thing I got in the chat was from Tim Guerrero saying, hey, all, will there be a show today? I'm going to switch over and actually open up a separate window so I can watch the chat in YouTube while I'm communicating with you. This is really going to make things for a weird night, isn't it? All right. So yes, happy Thursday. Anyway, long day. Bob Layton has not gotten in the chat yet, so we'll just kind of wing it. I was going to start the show with him. I didn't get him the link until I literally sat down as well. So maybe a Coke will help me. I don't know what the heck we're going to need tonight to get this thing working, but yeah, it is a little disconcerting when the chat within the studio is not working. So I'm going to be watching two things here. I see Jordan and Dino are in the chat, and I do have the photograph that I got from Dino today. I'll show that a little bit later. But what Dino is actually in Hawaii, and he got to hang out with Jordan yesterday. They sent me a nice photograph and a message that I will be relaying to Nick and several of you in a little bit, definitely after I have Bob on. But yeah, other than that, it's full steam ahead around here. We have we haven't gotten a lot of things done this week that I had hoped, but as a family, at least we got to hang out. So my son is here through next Thursday, but he's back to doing his dinosaur play stuff, which he is doing Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But yeah, here, like, you know what? This is what I need right here. The Zevia has not been cracked yet, so we got to get that started. See, and I'm a mess tonight, everybody. No amateur dueling dealers coming up. Yes, Tim Guerrero. Oh, hey, the chat just turned back on in my studio, so I don't have to watch it anymore. Yeah, we are having an amateur dueling dealer episode, and that is going to be on Labor Day, September 4th, between Jordan and Matt DiTullio. As many of you know, we had it scheduled earlier in the month of August, or maybe it was going to be, well, it would have been last week, and we had to postpone it just because of the Maui fires. I do have a drinking problem. God, I'm telling you guys, this is going to be one of the more unique shows that you've ever had here on a CAF Update. And the thing is, as I was coming in, Chris Snorik had texted me while I was at Epcot, and he told me that his internet was completely down. Apparently, a car has taken out all of the network infrastructure in all of Wisconsin, apparently, and they have no phone service nor internet, at least where Mr. Snorik lives. So we were texting, and that's why we have Chuck Arnold. He's going to be sitting in for Chris when we get to that part of the show. Tim Guerrero says, when did you dump the Cokes? You haven't watched in a long time, apparently. Gosh, at least 3 weeks ago, probably 4. I decided I was putting on too much weight, Tim. So I ended up deciding to make the switch to a sugar-free variant, and Zevia has been a good replacement for me. Lost 10 pounds. So yeah, that is what that is. Rich Danny says there's definitely, it could have been a cheese accident in Wisconsin. That is very possible. Quite possible indeed. But yeah. So I'm still waiting for Bob, but Bob will be in. As everybody knows, last week Bob had his big Seoul Comic Con thing going on. It was a week-long thing that he did, and unfortunately I got all the materials while I was in Epcot. I thought I'd be getting home around 8 tonight, so I would have been able to edit all that stuff. So I'm going to end up having to show Bob's fun week next week, but Bob will be joining us tonight, and we'll be able to chat with him about all of that. But yeah, Bobathon. Thank you, Hydra. 10, yeah, you guys are making fun of all that. Hey, when you're as skinny as I am, and you put on 10 or 15 pounds of unwanted weight, it goes in every place that you don't want it to go. Namely, I look like I was about 6 months pregnant. So yeah, that's how it goes. Sorry, reading through the chat here. I'm #1 fan. Yep, you are the #1 fan, Marvel fan. So hey, why don't I well, I was kind of wanted to talk to Bob about this one topic, and so I don't want to start without him on that. I guess I should hold off on that. But here, I gotta do show prep. I got stuff to even load into the studio so far that I haven't had the opportunity to do until now. But we were, just so you know, we were actually going to start the show with 1 to 3 OAX artists who were planning on talking about some pre-con commission sets and lists that we were going to get started for them. And unfortunately, that had to be postponed. So we were going to, that was part of my plan to get things started today, was to go over those. And yeah, it's not going to happen, unfortunately. So interesting. All right. Thank goodness Bob is here, because he's going to save the day. He is going to help make this show get on track, since it hasn't been on track since I got the late start. But here he is, the man, and I don't even have your intro to play, Bob, because I was not able to do the video editing. So Tom Layton is here.
No, that's a joke. I'm going to have Joey explain it to you. He's making me a coffee right now, because it's only 10 o'clock in the morning here, and we had a late night last night with the Seoul Comics Week, and so we're still trying to recover. Joey, get on over here, boy.
Well, I think you mentioned it last week. Wasn't it that everybody was calling you Tom and not
Well,
Bob?
that's why I put that up there. Joey can explain it better than me.
So for all the posts about Soul Comics Week, usually with my social media posts, I try to put Korean first, and then I put the English translation lower, because 75-80% of our customers are Korean, so I just put that on top.
Mhm.
But if you've got your social media set to translate, certain languages,
Auto translate.
it
Yeah.
Right.
translates it, and the
All
for
the
some
posts-
reason, the Korean spelling of Bob was translating as Tom.
Tom.
None of us know why, because it's not anything. They're not anything close to spelled alike, obviously. But yeah, it's But yeah, I was confused, so I was looking at it. I was like, "Oh wait, it's translating it as Tom." So
yeah, he gets a text from me like midnight. I get on the Facebook and I'm like, "There's all this shit with Tom Layton on it." And I'm like, and I go, "Joey, who the hell is Tom Layton?" So it's kind of been a running gag here, for a while. So what the hell? As long as I'm here, who cares? Bob, Tom, whatever,
You'll answer to either one. But so
I
how's
was
Soul
Disney.
Comics
I
Week?
was Disney World.
Disney was actually a lot of fun. I got to ride 2 rides today that I've never been on. One was the Guardians of the Galaxy ride, but that was the thing that kept me delayed. That they don't have a line that you can line up in. They have this. You do it on their app, and it's called a virtual queue. And I presumed that when I had a time to board at the virtual queue, that I would just be kind of getting on, right? Well, when I got in the line, it was an hour-long line. Here I thought I'd be home by
Oh
by
my
8
god!
what's the
8
point?
p.m. and that's why I got in at like 9:01 because
Hey,
it was worth it though. It was probably
Let me ask you: did you buy
yeah.
any of that juicy Bob Layton Iron Man merch they have there?
we didn't get a chance to even stop. I had to run, man. As soon as we got off the ride, we were racing for the parking lot to get out of there.
Yeah, my friend Matt Guy from England says that the gift shop looks like a Bob Layton art museum.
Well, I would have liked to have gone in. I mean, that was my intent going into it because I don't have a Magic Band. I've been wanting to get one, and I thought there's got to be a good Guardians of the Galaxy Magic Band that they use for the entrance at the parks.
So
but
you almost
didn't work
missed
out.
your own show.
I did.
Well, Joey and I can just take over, man. It's like
I do need the help today. I'll be honest with you, man. I did not. I don't like this. I come in with a sheet, that takes me from point A to point Z for a show, and I have nothing in front of me today.
Did Castor queue up some juicy video for you?
He's uploaded it, but I haven't been able to download anything because I just sat down. So I don't know what I'm.
You got to be able to show these guys free Soul Comic Week, man. We sent you some of the best footage we ever shot.
Man, I'm going to work on it while we're talking. I'll do my best.
Come back. We'll sit in the green room if you want to do that, and we'll come back.
But I can't edit the video live in front of everybody. That wouldn't make for a good show.
Well,
I'm working on it.
Having no video makes for a crappy show too, Bill.
I know. I'm working on it. I'm going over to your folder right now. I'm going to find the stuff. I can play it. It just might not be as pretty as we're used to seeing it.
Well, look. Let's roll some stuff, okay? What the hell?
I'm working on it. I'm trying to find it here.
He's got to go make me a coffee. So, let's roll a couple.
Well, I see there's a video where there's something that's labeled congealed. I don't know.
You'll want that one. This is Bob in my Geek of the Week, right? This week, what's it called?
It's Heijanggu.
Heijanggu. Heijanggu is congealed pig's blood soup. Let's roll it.
It's called like hangover soup. It's really
Yeah.
good for you. It's high.
It's like you'll see. Let's go ahead and run it.
All right. I'm pulling it up. It's going to take a second here.
Machine to warm up.
Oh shit.
It'll be like another.
This is as good as it's going to look tonight, though. Unfortunately.
That's my next door neighbor. That's Unso.
All right, let's see. Make sure we got audio playing.
4 in Korea. All right. Can you believe it's been 4 weeks already? But here we are. We're after a night at the venue there at the Magic Box or whatever it's called, Mega Box or whatever the hell they are.
이거 좀 가져가도
So,
되겠어요? 가서 올릴 거죠?
What am I eating here, Joey?
This is Heijanggu.
And it is,
Hangover soup.
Hangover soup.
and I don't even drink
Peter's
it.
right.
This
That's
is some
best
nice
stuff.
congealed pig's blood.
It is chunky style.
Yep.
Okay, here you
It's
go,
high
baby.
in iron. Mm.
Hey, that's actually good.
Right?
It's really good, right?
It's like bloody tofu.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Sorry, America. I'm still geeking.
Man,
Yeah. So Uso was my neighbor over at the Airbnb that I first stayed in, the one that was the size of a shoebox. It's like, but we became friends. We met in the elevator. We became friends, so we're still hanging out. She's awesome. So yeah, she met us that night for a little congealed pig's blood. I got to do larva this week before we leave. Okay?
I was going to say there's got to be something that you get in because now
The insect larva is. Oh yeah, look at Bill. Bill's turning. He's even wider than he normally is. Yes.
yeah, no.
We're going to get that on. As you know, this is my last week in Korea before I head out to Thailand. Right. So next week, I told Kasra I'm going to be at the airport, so I won't be able to actually do live. So we're going to shoot some footage, and I'm gonna basically do a recorded segment next week.
Okay.
But we can broadcast live from Thailand. Next
And how many
Thursday
weeks are you going to be in
night.
Thailand?
Yeah, I'll be in Thailand for a week.
Okay, so we'll do, and then you're back to Europe after that, right?
No, I'm just going to Greece for a couple of weeks for
Greece.
the Big Fat Greek wedding.
Wedding.
And
Yeah.
what you guys don't know, and maybe I alluded to it or whatever, I found an apartment here. I'm coming back to Korea. And I'm going to stay here until we get ready to make the helix. So I talked to the director. I'm just waiting for a start time on that. So rather than come back to the States, we found the apartment here. Cheers, America. Love you guys.
Well, here I've got another video here.
This is what they call a
Yeah, what's in there? Coffee and what?
It's an Americano. It's a nice Americano, but it is
okay.
the national drink of Korea.
An Americano.
Yeah, no, but you call it an
An
The Korean, they like to make kind of hip abbreviations. So
okay.
if a drink or something gets popular, they'll abbreviate it. So there's like soju and beer together. Soju and beer is maekju, so they call it like somek. Now that's the coolest drink.
Yeah, but I walked into a Starbucks and said, "Give me a venti
And they know exactly.
They don't have crickets, but they do have other insects.
There's
have crickets
some
there, too.
here and
Yeah.
grasshoppers.
Okay. So yeah, roll the next video.
All right, let me load this one up. I'm not sure what we'll see. This one is called a tour of Seoul Comic Week. So I guess we're
Yeah, you're gonna get to see some of this. You guys are gonna. This is unbelievable.
So, Seoul Comics Week's going to begin. We found the entrance to the secret entrance, being guarded by none other than my pal War Machine. Hey, Rode, what's happening, man? So, anyway.
Oh, hello.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm
Wow, nice to meet
I'm
you.
so glad to be here. Thank you so much. All right, so here we are. Hey, how you doing? This is my friend Joey Corner, the owner and proprietor of Nice
The
Comics
fabulous
Cafe.
Dice Comics Cafe.
This is like the merchandise that he has specially out here for me. My work here or whatever, various things. Plus the new cover that I did for him here, exclusive for Dice and Comics Cafe. You can only get that here. Can't get that anywhere else in the world.
Joey's like, ugh.
Here we have
It looks so cool.
reading room. More merch, of course, out here. Various books and stuff like that.
This little library. A lot of people hanging
It's
out.
really kind of cozy. Free candy, by the way. You know, Spider-Man. Here.
Looks like you're calling the girls. There he is.
The entrance here.
No, I'm not calling it
Down here they have a coloring area
Erica.
where
This is fun.
yes,
You see
where
mostly
the pretty
adults in
girls
there.
are, and they like to color. So there you go. So
That's
once they get it
Uso,
colored, they
by
can
the
bring
way.
it down
She's
and
very
have it
coloring.
signed by me. And here's the autograph area. Hi guys, you guys ready?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh wow, look at that.
interpreter, and we're ready to rock and roll, right? All right, guys, that's enough of that. Come on, let's get some stuff signed. That's been my interpreter. He's great. He's the best interpreter I ever had. His memory is unbelievable. Run the video that Joey made. Joey made a great video, man. Let's
I sent it to Kazri yesterday. He said he was.
I've got a couple things here. Let's see.
There should be a second Soul Comic Week things that Joey put together that really shows the crowd lined up because it was the busiest day, right?
Yes. Let me here. I'm going to back off of this one and go over to here.
Yeah, what's happening today at Soul Comics Week? It should be.
I think it might be this one right here.
No, it's this one. See that one, Bill?
Man, you are in your element here, Bob.
Oh, look at this! Look at this theater. Oh no, this is not the one.
This is not the one. We've got more.
Kill it. We showed that last week.
This one?
I don't know, but you want to see the one with the crowds. Look at this. Check out the little old lady. There's like a 75-year-old lady in there coloring.
People spend the whole day reading comics. Free Red Bulls.
Yeah, they give the crowd Red Bulls, which I don't think is a really good idea.
Hope they have an age limit on that.
It's a hell of a venue, Bill. So yeah, this is the reading area, library, where people can just hang out and read and stuff.
I've got. I do have a couple more videos in here.
The one Joey made is really good. The Soul Comic Weeks, What's Happening video.
This one's about half hour. You want me to go to the next video?
Yeah, go to the next one because it's got the crowds there. You know.
All right. Yeah. Let's see.
And Joey edited it with like a lot of pizzazz. What's happening today at Soul Comic Week?
This one right here.
There you go. There you go. Let's roll it, Bill. Let's go to the videotape.
Roll the tape.
It was my,
Why is it freezing? Hey, there's more. Coming to get Joey. As you can see, there's quite a crowd gathering down below. Oh, we did an art duel with Danny Kim. That's what I remember that was. We did one of the famous artist duels.
yeah, Danny Kim's kind of a rising star. He's working on Wildcats right now.
Oh, cool.
He's really good. Yeah, I think he's going to stop by tonight, too. He was with Park Jae-kwang, who he drew the Korean story in Batman the World, and he drew the first of the Sumerian Conan stories too, the people of the Black Reach.
Let's face it, man.
You're having the time of your life.
We're screwed without Kasra.
Well,
We
you know,
need an editor here, man.
well, it's Kasra gives me all the materials. That what we're looking at is what I get from Kasra, and I stitch it all into this cohesive video every week. But
Not this week, baby.
I know, Bob. I'm gonna fix it. Should I save? Well, I can use it partially for next week. I know we're gonna record some other stuff, but
Yeah, no, we're definitely going to record some other stuff because we have the event tonight. It's great. There's a magic show where a guy is going to do a magic trick with my artwork.
not a real piece of art, right? I mean, a print. Or
No.
something.
It's with the pieces of my eight covers that make the Hall of Iron.
Yeah.
He does a magic trick with that, like cards, which is pretty cool.
Well, I hope you get that on video.
Yeah, well, that's what we want. That's tonight. We got to figure out when he's performing.
Okay.
But he did it the other night, and I'm going, well, that's like pretty neat. I never seen anyone use my artwork as a magic card. I think we can lose that, Bill.
All right. Yes, I'm dropping it. I'm removing this from the screen. Now we're back.
So yeah, I talked with Casa briefly this morning, and like I said, so I'm gonna broadcast. We're gonna give you a videotape next week, so it won't be live. But it'll be fun stuff, without a doubt. So you're gonna have to edit that one. You're gonna have to edit that one, brother.
I can do that.
I'll be in Greece for 2 weeks, but as you know, the time difference there is such that it will make us doing live almost impossible. So I will have to phone those in. But when I get back to Korea on the 21st, we're going to have my birthday party here at Dyson Comics Cafe, including an Iron Man cake contest.
Really?
Yeah.
We like cakes on the channel here, so I can't wait.
Well, I like cakes too. That's why I told all my fans that we're going to have a contest. They all have to bring Iron Man cakes of their own making or whatever. So we're doing that on Sunday the 24th. My birthday is actually the 25th. We're doing it here, but we found me an apartment, and I'm gonna just be living here until I get the green light from Marcus to start working on the film.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided to just wait it out here. I mean, I'm enjoying the sense of community I have here, and the food is fantastic when you're not eating larvae and congealed blood. So it's kind of like I figured I'll just stay here for the time being. I found a nice little place down the street, so we can continue as long as you want to continue the
I do. I absolutely.
I didn't know if once I stopped traveling whether you wanted to keep doing it or not, but I am not in America. I will definitely be in Korea for a while, so at least until January. So I bought some equipment. I got it on its way. I'm going to go back to doing commissions starting in September. Yeah, when I get back here, I'm going to start taking commissions again. So all those people out there that are art collectors, it's like now's the time.
We've got a few of those in the audience. And,
hence the show. But
yes.
I'm kind of anxious to get back to work and do some stuff because like you said, I've only done little sketches here and there. I haven't really. So I got getting a computer made, and I just ordered a printer from America. It's on its way here, and like I said, got a cozy little place, walking distance from here. So I'm gonna sit out the winter here. I figured I can get acclimated too, because you remember that we're shooting the Helix in the Arctic Circle. So, and having lived in warm weather like you for most of my life, I am not looking forward to that. So I figured the gradual fall to winter here will help me acclimate a little bit before I have to head to Sweden. Marcus thinks we'll probably be shooting, barring the strike problems, probably sometime in January, February. So
why did you decide to film in such a cold place?
Well, no, because I am the fulfillment. I'm the development company. Box Monkey Pictures is the development company.
Yeah.
They bought the script from us. Pelican Films is actually producing. That's Marcus's company, is actually producing the film. Pelican Films is based in Sweden. Part of the film incentives that we get from the government comes, because we're shooting and using a crew in Sweden. Okay. And we couldn't shoot in the United States anyway because everybody's on strike.
That's very true. You lucked out in that regard, right? I mean, that
exactly.
Really screwed everything up for
you. International, but like I said, I'm making some inroads here in terms of trying to. I figure while I'm here, I'm going to be meeting with people in the film and television industry here in Korea, which is thriving, and see what I can do about maybe doing some co-productions here as well. It'll be fun.
Yeah. Alberto has said that you share his son's.
I saw that, Alberto. That's great. Also, it happens to be Michael Douglas and his wife's birthday is September 25th. Also.
Very nice. And
didn't know that. What's his wife's name again? Well, what's her face? Catherine Beta-Z. Yeah. Yeah.
Dino said that somebody should make a War Machine cake while they're.
Well, that's fine too. That counts, Dino. That counts, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. We War Machine, Iron Man, anything in the milieu. Somebody will do an Ant-Man cake. You watch it. I'll come in with a little mini cupcake or something.
that
Koreans
would
have
be
a great-
cheating, I think.
Yeah, Koreans have a great sense of humor, Bill. So I have no doubt about that.
Well, what does the prize winner get? I mean, are you going to pick the best cake?
Free, they're
It's going to be
get a
based
free
on looks
drawing.
or taste.
They're going to get a free drawing from me.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
We might have to fly some ringers out there and
Well, I wish I could get the girls from Copenhagen, the Disraeli sisters.
Oh, that's
involved.
right, the
Oh,
bakers.
oh my God, because I still hear from them every week. You know, it's like, and once I get up to Sweden, I told them I'm gonna be able to take the shuttle down and see them on weekends. You know, so yeah, but the Disraeli sisters would win this hands down, man. I mean, it's like those girls can cook. Let me tell you.
Well, then they would win on taste. I mean, but did they actually make ornate cakes that you think could?
Oh no,
look like
Jessie, the baking sister, is I mean, she went to culinary school for 8 years learning to do that stuff. You know, what am I saying? I hope Bob tries sundubu.
You tried sundubu chige
Yeah, I tried that chige.
and doenjang chige. Yeah, I think you tried.
Yeah, I've had
Comes
them.
What is it?
Yeah,
Peter, I've had both of those, man.
It's good. We went to a really good sundubu place last week.
What is it? Is it?
Yeah.
It's a soft tofu soup.
That's
Spicy
that's
soft
the
tofu.
picture with Knox and I puking in a bowl.
Yeah, that was.
Did Cosper send you that one?
I don't think I've seen that one yet.
Well, your friend, he's got a buddy, Kuhn, who has a son, Knox, and Knox is like the greatest little 10-year-old kid in the world. And I posted a picture on Facebook of, because the soft tofu soup, it looks like puke. And so me and the kid are going, into the bowl, right? You know? It's on Facebook if you want to see it, okay?
I will have to find that one
I'm
because I don't
surprised
think I've
Cosper
seen
didn't
that
send
one.
it to you.
Yeah,
'Cause,
what's up? Kazra's he's slacking on me. I'm the one slacking this week. But Dino, he's full of ideas tonight. He said somebody could do a demon in a bottle cake that was stoked with a little bit of vodka.
Well, yeah, I can't.
I
do
know
that
you can't-
myself.
you can't do
I
that.
can't. Yeah, but I definitely would share that with the
Actually,
people.
a demon in the bottle like rum cake sounds really good.
Yeah, see, well, Joey, yeah, he doesn't mind. He he drinks for the two of us. So that as long as it's cooked, I'm fine. You know, if the
Mhm.
rum or the vodka is cooked or whatever, yeah, I don't have a problem with that. You know,
Yeah.
but being the official spokesperson for sobriety in the comic industry, it's like I have to say that I don't want to get anyone getting hammered with my cake. Okay.
No, I cannot do that.
No. So yeah, when I get back, we're gonna have the big birthday party, and we start drink and draw here every Thursday night at 7:00. I talked to Jeff Johnson, the founder of the co-founder of Drink and Draw in LA, and I got his permission to go ahead and use their logo and stuff like that. So we're going to do Drink and Draw here at Dyson Comics Cafe every Thursday night at 7:00.
Well, that's gonna be a lot of fun.
Well,
Hey.
I think it's a good way too for the younger guys to get some instruction.
Mhm.
I'm going to have some of the Korean pros come here with us, and like I said, also Thursday night's the slowest night, so I figured, hey Joey, I'll generate some income for you. How's
We've
that?
got some really good pros already lined up.
Yeah.
And some of them, a couple of them are students of Jungie Kim's, and they're really great guys. The way they talk about Kim Jungie is the way I hear Bob talk about Dick Giordano.
Mhm.
So it's like they're the kinds of guys that really want to kind of, spread the love with their skill.
Yeah, and I'm trying to bring some Western sensibilities to them. It's like
Right.
as well. I mean, my master classes were really wonderful, very successful, and this is kind of a way to do it almost on a weekly basis. Oh yeah, I did an interview. It's not here yet. It'll be out September 8th with Audran.
Oh yeah. There is Arirang TV. He did a television interview. He did.
That's
Very-
the English-speaking Korean television network. So
Yeah,
it's international. So
Was
I
it
did
part
a
of the
whole
Seoul
piece on-
Comic Con? Was it as
Yeah.
because you were there?
Yeah, it was in the center stage.
Arirang is broadcast all over the world. So Grace, who interviewed me, said that the segment will air September 8th, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
But also, we talked to her about coming out here and actually doing a masterclass on the network. So it's like, so she's pitching that to her boss now.
Yeah.
So, but that's still being on Arirang is like an honor. It's like it's a huge network globally. So that was really cool too. We'll get some footage from that for you.
That would be incredible.
Yeah.
One more cool thing with the masterclass.
And Grace is a hottie too, man. Let me tell you.
One of the fans that came to the masterclass, we met with him a few days ago, and he was telling us that after doing the masterclass, he had a script he was working on for a webtoon contest, and he ended up winning the contest after
hanging out with Bob for a couple hours. That's amazing.
Helping the masterclass and stuff. So
Bob, he needs to write you a testimonial for that. After 1 hour with Bob Layton, I wrote the most masterful script ever, and I won it immediately.
I'm waiting until the webtoon gets made into a television series, and I'm going to sue him. so many of the Korean comedies and dramas or whatever are actually based on webtoons. You know,
oh, really?
A lot of them are huge here. So like I said, I'll wait until he makes a ton of money before I go after him. Okay.
turns out he just wrote "Demon in a Bottle" to change the alphabet. So
it's
Tony Stark got
Demon
all
in a
that.
cake, yeah.
Like a beer, the big
or whatever the soup was, whatever that demon in a whatever. What was it? The
Demon in a-
yeah.
the blood pools. Yeah.
But no, it's yeah. So I'll try to get you some footage from the from Arirang, because that's like that's a big deal. I was watching that network the entire time I was in Madrid, trying to acclimate myself to Korean culture.
Sure.
And so it's like I actually watched Grace's show while I was there. So when I met her, I kind of fanboyed out a little bit.
You get her autograph?
Well, no, but the point of it is she was, she's a really amazing broadcaster and a total hottie and great fun. As like you said, so it was. We had a blast doing the segment together. So,
well, that'll be awesome. If you can get on there.
Yeah, we'll look. We'll like I said, we'll look into it and see about getting a clip for that too. But so next week, yeah, Joey and I will put together a lot of weird, bizarre stuff. Kasra, phone number and autograph. Okay,
Phone number is
for you, man.
more important than enough.
Yeah, okay. We'll work on it. But anyway, if she comes and if she can pitch the thing we're doing, the master class, I think that would be awesome. If I get, be able to do a master class and have it broadcast internationally, that would be fabulous.
A feather in your cap.
You saw the crowd I had for the storytelling when it was huge.
Right.
We filled up the place, man.
Right.
So,
well, again, what other comic artist could ever say something like that? Haven't been able to have that kind of an opportunity. I mean, it's amazing, Bob, and the idea that or Tom. I'm sorry, it's Tom tonight.
Yeah, Tom. Thank you.
You've been having such a good time since you've been in Seoul. I can see why you'd want to go back. I mean, do you have like a time frame?
It went by so fast, Bill.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't believe it's been 6 weeks already.
I can't.
It went back in a blur. That's why I want to come back, because I haven't even had a chance to be a tourist yet.
Well, that's because Joey had such a rigorous schedule for you from the moment.
I worked his ass off. Yeah.
Good that he did because, like I said, it's like we've done a lot here to help promote American comics here in Korea. So it's been, I think, as far as that campaign, he should get a trophy. See that? No, he's done a lot. We've done a lot.
We're gonna make one up.
Generate, and we got to thank our friends too, the reprinted Armor Wars, because that's been selling. That's been selling briskly. They're reading it for the first time here in Korea.
Yeah, and
so
we had the translator for it. For a thing. Too.
So the fact they got the trade paperback out in time, plus also we're working out a deal now to get these Hall of Iron prints, the ones Joey made, the really beautiful ones.
Yeah.
Available in the United States. Through, we're talking to our friends there in terms of making those available. And very limited. There's about 150 of them.
There's 150 total. And
Number
then,
signed and numbered, and
yeah.
they're going to be available
We've,
in the States soon.
We've sold some we've given some away at the private signings and things like that.
Grab
for
one,
some-
Joy. Let's show them again. Let's show those people out there who might be interested in one of them again.
So where
Not
are
only
you going
that,
to
but Joey had them put into plastic sleeves. All of them have been never touched by human hands. You give
There
us some
are
idea.
archival luster prints on photo paper. So
So it's really good stock. They're
Okay.
look at the size of this thing. It's massive, and it's unencumbered by all that. Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Bill.
You're
You
welcome.
see, and it's like it comes with its own plastic seal and all that kind of stuff, and they will be available available to you guys soon. I would say in the next 3 or 4 weeks. You'll be available in America. So just we'll give you where you can order those from.
You've got
we
a
got-
lead on somebody who's going to help you.
Oh, you know who they are, but it's
Okay.
like I can't talk. I don't want to say anything until the deal is done. Joey, get back on. Right. Wow, this guy is an amateur, man. He's not. He's no Tom Layton.
No, you're a true director, Tom. I mean, you've given me direction at least 3 times during the show, and I snap to it. I listen. You're a
Grace-
man to be reckoned with.
Grace said to me, she goes, "You've been in front of the camera before, haven't you?" I said, every chance I get.
Mhm.
Well, you know what Steranko always said. He goes, most comic book artists forget that we're entertainers, right?
Well,
We are entertainers. Now we do it. I mean, with me, I'm much better at being on camera than I am as an artist, probably.
that's not true. That's not true at all.
But I
You're right.
do love an audience. I won't lie to you. So yesterday was grueling. We did 4 hours straight of interviews. It was, and if you know about that, it's like 4 hours of being on straight like that was just exhausting because you have to go through the translator. Poor Min, has to go through me and my motor mouth and remember everything I've said, which he does amazingly. He's the best the best translator I ever had. He was just fantastic. But we have a lot of stuff lined up this week. We got to finish up Soul Comic Week. Then we're all going to crash and burn probably by Monday.
Yeah. I got a message on social media from some kid that was like, "Isn't Bob going to do any more appearances and events after the 25th?" And I was like, "I think you've had ample chance to meet with him here over the last 5 weeks." And he's like, "Wow, but I'm just so busy because I have a student." It's like, he's been here a month.
Right. 6 weeks, right? You've been there.
Well, it'll be 6 weeks next week.
By the
Maybe
time you
entire
leave.
trip, yeah.
And
I'm entering my 6th week.
But
yeah.
I told him he hangs out at the shop all the time. If you stop by,
Well, that's why Drink and Draw will be good because I said we should just advertise that I'll be artist in resident at Drink and Draw here every Thursday night.
Right.
If people want to come in and get their book signed, they can do that too.
Mm-hmm.
Again, because listen, about the movie business. It's God knows when they're actually going to get a start time. Because it's just these things go on and on. But again, since I don't have an apartment in the States and I don't have a car or anything like that, just going back to America for a couple of months and then, doing all that stuff and then abandoning it again doesn't make any sense. So I'm just going to wait it out here.
Well, it makes sense. And if you can do your commissions from there, that's.
Well, yeah, Joey's
thing.
got me set up, so and I'm working through my agent Spencer Beck. So Spencer's gonna what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take commissions, send them all to Spencer, and he will dispense them out to the various people who ordered them. So so all you guys, you can get back on boblayton.com and start putting in those commission orders on September 21st. It's like, so yeah, I'm back to work. So, and I'll be doing that until we get started on the movie.
Very, very
And hopefully
exciting.
I'll have movie news as we get closer. We have already talked to a couple of A-list people who are interested in being in the film. I can't say anything right now because loose lips sink ships, as you well know. But as time goes on through this fall, I'll be able to disseminate some more Helix news as we go along.
Well, that's going to be cool. So, are you going to be doing any kind of like behind the scenes documentary of the whole project?
Oh man, once I'm there, I'm gonna do live broadcasts from the set. You know, I'm gonna do stuff on Facebook, and of course, I'll be talking to you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, as long as you have internet and time.
Josh, I want your money, baby.
Yes, Josh
Gotta
says,
keep me in pig's blood.
Pig's blood. You seem to be on a tear. Remember, Nick was selling several pieces of yours, probably via Spencer on his
Is Nikki
show.
on? Is Nikki on tonight?
I haven't seen him in the chat tonight. He was on he was in our chat last night. but I
Well,
haven't
when you
seen him
talk to him, yeah, tell him to get his wallet out. Get ready.
tonight. I will do that. Well, wait a minute. He might owe me some money, so maybe. Well, but you should be able to jump the line and be ahead of me on that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Nikki and I go way back anyway, but now tell him I'll take care of him. Don't tell him not to worry. I'm kind of anxious, like I said, because it's been almost 6 months since I sat at a drawing board and actually drew like a real page.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, Leah, that's true. Castra, this is the other thing, because when we did the artist duel, I disqualified Galactus because I'm the only guy probably in comics that can draw Galactus from memory.
Everybody else cheats.
And in an artist duel, I would win every time. But we did, the Danny Kim and I did the artist duel where we had audience and they called out the name of a character. We had 5 minutes to draw it, right? And in the meantime, they had to ask us trivia questions to kind of keep us distracted while we're trying to draw. And then at the end, they hold them up and the loudest applause wins, and the audience gets the shitty sketches, right? As part of the...
Yes, they raffle them off, yeah.
Yeah. But the trouble was, since, Danny's a relative newcomer, all the questions were directed at me. So, it's like...
So you're the only one distracted.
Yeah, I'm the only one distracted. Now, technically, I won, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I won. I got the most, but that's also because they, I'm the guest and they're respectful and they're Koreans. So, of course, I got more applause. So
All the character requests, too, were like Iron Man.
Yeah.
Hercules,
yes. So it wasn't really a fair contest to Danny. I feel bad for him,
And then they say Grifter.
They're going to
Like,
do
who's
one
that?
tonight without me. Okay, I'm going to MC it because we decided it was not really fair because, because of my notoriety here. It's
Exactly.
like, yeah.
Yeah, it'll
It's
be
not
And
fair.
the fact that I had to answer all the questions that had to go through an interpreter, and I only had 5 minutes. So I'm saying this is not fair. So we're going to do one tonight with the younger Korean artists. So if we get that on tape, that should be fun too.
All right. Hey, I saw a question from Rom 2813 said,
Rom.
how do you contact Bob for a commission? Really needs a Rom or an Exo Man of War. So you can do that right through boblayton.com after you get back to Seoul.
Yeah, once I reactivate my PayPal again, because I turned the whole thing off. I had Dawn, my webmaster, turn it off when I left because I didn't want to continue with that. Or you can go to Spencer Beck, who's my agent. You go to Spencer Beck at theartistchoice.com. Spencer, you can get commissions through him too.
Okay.
So you can do that right now if you want to put it in an order right now, Rom.
But otherwise, it'll be a month
thinking
from
his
now when
name's
you're
not
back in
Rom.
store.
I'm thinking his name's not really Rom. I love to do
it's
Rom. I love drawing Rom. Space Knight.
Yeah.
I hear they're doing another. Marvel's doing a trade of Rom Space Knight.
I did not know that.
They're reprinting ROM 1
Okay.
in a facsimile edition.
I love
I guess
doing
that
Rom.
means
I had a
something's
blast.
going
I even ate 2 issues over Ditko. It was fun.
Yeah. Did you? Was it fun at the time when you inked over?
Oh
Ditko?
yeah. Well, I got to work with Steve Ditko, and then I wound up dragging him over to Valiant with me,
Mhm.
So it's like, well, Steve and I were friends. I mean, that's the one thing I loved about him. He used to come to my office and sit there and just talk for hours, telling stories about the old days or whatever. Those are memories you never forget, man. So I'm sitting there, and I'm like you, or any other fan. I'm sitting there and I'm talking to Steve Ditko. Holy shit, It's like, yeah, there's a part of me going, yes, Steve, yes, Steve. The other part's going, is this real?
Well, too bad you weren't recording him, but I know Steve was averse to that kind of stuff. But yeah, we could probably do a whole show just you talking about your experiences with guys like Steve, and I'm sure there's other creators that you were in awe of across the table from you.
Yeah, a lot of I need a lawyer for some of that conversation. Michael Lovitz, are you on there? My lawyer on?
Michael Lovitz, lawyer to all the comic artist stars out there.
He is. He's the best lawyer in the biz, man, without a doubt.
Hey, you probably heard, but I mean, have you ever worked with Dan Green? I mean, he recently he passed.
I knew Dan. I didn't work with him because we were both inkers.
True. But I didn't know if he ever had an opportunity where maybe he inked you. That's what I was.
No. We worked on a lot of the same books and stuff at various times.
Yep.
No, I knew Dan from the beginning of Marvel. It's like, so yeah, it's a shame, but that's another reason why I'm traveling around the world. Too many good people have already left us, and while I'm still healthy and still have filled with piss and vinegar, it's time for me to enjoy life to its fullest. I'm turning 70 next month. Big landmark, birthday. Yeah. I know. Don't even text. I know I look way too good to be 70. I know that.
Well, you've lost some weight too since you've been on this.
I've lost 15 pounds. Yeah, just from not sitting around home watching television all the time. I mean, in the rest of the world, we have to get out and walk. Most everywhere you get out and walk and you move. You're not at home all the time. So it's like you're not sitting there just like snacking away or whatever.
Well, all I had to eat was larva and pig's blood and some, gloppy soup. I might lose weight too.
No, it's not that. Well, yeah. Granted, Korean food is generally healthier for you. A lot of stuff that's not fried. I stay away from the fried foods anyway. And I don't eat meat, so I never eat meat. Mm-hmm. So and meat's obviously not bad for you because it's full of fat and stuff. So. Here I am, turning 70, traveling around the world, having a great time, hanging out with you, nice folks here at CAF, So, who's got it better than me?
Nobody. Absolutely nobody right now, Bob.
That's right,
so, so next week you'll be in the air. So you're flying out of Korea to go to Thailand. So that's why it's going to be a strict.
Thailand is a vacation. Because I love this guy like a brother. Okay, his wife calls me Uncle Bob now. Okay, it's like her mother makes me food and brings it to me. She makes kimchi and all kinds of stuff, dumplings and things like that. So it's wonderful. I mean, the sense of community here is great. Thailand is strictly vacation.
That's good. No comic shop appearances.
No, that's what I need. After this grueling schedule, I said I need a week off somewhere where I can just lay on a beach. But I don't have to do it because, as Bob doesn't mean Howard the Duck too. Thank you, Cass. Also, in Thailand, the room I got, I kind of splurged. As I told you, I have an infinity pool in my bedroom.
Yes.
So I'm just going to roll out of bed and fall into the water. That's the extent.
Well, hopefully you're awake when you do that.
No, but I will broadcast from my hotel. I will broadcast in 2 weeks from my hotel room in Thailand. So maybe from inside the pool, I might broadcast in the pool.
Well, just keep the laptop and webcam away from
I'll
it.
Keep it dry, but I might actually broadcast in 2 weeks underwater.
In the water. Will you be alone or will you have guests with you? I guess that's going to be the question on everybody's mind.
Only if I'm lucky.
Oh man. Well, yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, this has been a lot of fun, Bob. Honestly, why haven't we been doing this even before you left the country? We could have been doing these, but it's
Bob.
Okay, I'm sorry, Tom.
Thank you.
Just I can't. I wonder what they're going to call you in Thailand.
I don't know. Hopefully a cab. Because I don't know my way around. So I have a friend who lives in Thailand, who lives in Phuket. That's where I'm going to Phuket. So he's going to pick me up at the airport, take me to wherever I need to go. So he has a driver. So, it's like, it's going to just be a relaxation. So, but I'll tell you all about it in 2 weeks when I'm there. So next week, we'll send Kasra. We'll put together a video to send to Kas. So it'll be like I did in Copenhagen. It'll be like man on the street stuff. We'll go someplace interesting. We'll do some man on the street stuff or whatever, and then I'll see you live in 2 weeks. Okay.
That sounds great. Well, enjoy the rest of Seoul Comic. Is there only one more day of the? No, it's
yeah.
2 weeks.
Thank God it's the last day. It's way too long, but I mean Today is the final day, right? We have dinner
Last
with
day
them
of Soul
tonight,
Comics Week.
but we have dinner with all the hosts tonight or whatever. So it's gonna go late. Tomorrow I am just staying in my hotel room, man. I'm not coming out. I am tired, Jack. Let me tell
I don't
you.
blame you. I do not blame you at all. Well, Tom, Joey, as always, it's a lot of fun hanging out with you. We'll see.
I love you, baby.
Yes, thank Kasra for so much of this stuff. But I will edit all of that and post it to the channel tomorrow, so everybody can see what you did during Soul Comics Week. Because I think there was at least one other video clip and a whole lot of photographs to go along with it.
All right, I got another thing. So, I'm in Korea. It's the home of plastic surgery. So I'm thinking about, since I lost all this weight, maybe I should have a little tuck here. What do you think? Can we take like a poll on CAF to see whether Bob should get a little facelift or not?
We could do that. We could definitely get everybody.
Got some time, and we could actually record it, and you guys can watch my face heal.
I don't know if we want to do that, Bob.
I don't know if I want to do it.
You look fine.
But, every actress here has had work done. I mean, this is really the plastic surgery capital of the world. During COVID, Joey said every one of these gals took advantage of COVID. They have lips and tucks done everywhere.
One of my former employees went to work for a plastic surgery clinic, and she was like, "Oh yeah, they're so busy. They're just."
Kasra wants me to do the surgery.
Yeah, he does. He says 100%
yes. Ass, Kasra. Actually, I probably should. I should think about it, right? I would look more like I feel. I mean, because like I said, I'm still, there's a young man trapped in here. You know that, right?
I get it. No, well, of course. The spirit is still there. I'm sure you probably feel like you're 25 still on the inside.
Yeah,
right?
I know John Romita Jr. looks better than me, but he's also 5 years younger. Okay, so
that's right. That makes him. Yeah, he will not be that buff in 5 years. There's just no way.
By the way, there is no equivalent in Korean for "kiss my ass." Did you know that?
You've asked?
Yes. I said, how do you say
kiss my
ass in Korean? Joey says there is no equivalent to "kiss my ass" in Korean.
If you actually said, well, they're probably
Isn't that a shame?
It is. Well, what do they say then, Joey? Like,
maybe the closest is something kind of like,
kiss my mule. I mean, what is it?
Your mother, your oma, your oma.
Yes.
Your oma.
You can't handle your larva.
Yeah, I love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. All right,
we'll see you in 2 weeks, but we'll get a video from you next week.
You'll see me next week, but I'll see you guys in 2 weeks. All right.
All right. Everybody said kiss my grits. There you go.
Bill, thanks as always.
All right, guys. We'll see you again. We'll see you in 2 weeks, Bob.
All right. Thank you, brother.
Oh man, I'm gonna miss him for a week. That's that was awesome. I've loved hanging out with Bob and Joey. They're fantastic, and it's you could tell Bob seriously loves being able to hang out in Seoul, and Joey's done him a solid by keeping him busy, and but he deserves the 4 or 5 days off before he goes to Thailand. But I saw all those comments in the chat, all the tuck comments. So yep, it's Kasra says kiss my ass in Korean is now Tom Layton. And Bob is still in the green room. He is laughing hysterically right now, Kasra. You should be happy by that. Okay, gosh, you guys, kiss my grits is a very good alternative to that. But yeah, so we're gonna miss Bob next week, but we'll have him back on probably in the jacuzzi next to his bed in Thailand in 2 weeks, alone. We could be taking money on whether or not he'll be by himself or have company. We won't know. But Kazra will be in charge of the pool if there is going to be one. Maybe an over and under on the number of people in the pool. So yeah, it's been great seeing Bob, and I'm sorry I wasn't prepared for the show tonight. That's all on me, but I will edit that video and get it posted for Bob and Kazra tomorrow. I'll make sure it goes up Friday. I'll take care of that as soon as the show is over tonight. But yeah, so let's get on with things. Again, I have nothing written in front of me, but I do have I've got a couple photographs to show you. Of Kazra says the over and under is 3.5 people in the pool with Bob, counting Bob, I assume. So yeah, we'll let Kazra figure out how we're gonna put wagers on that over and under, and whether or not they're underwater. Yeah, that's another good one. All right, well here I got a few photos to show off and a few comments to make. So here. Just today, I got a photograph from Dino. He is in Hawaii. He got to hang out with Jordan yesterday, have lunch. And as you know, we remember, I think it was, gosh, it feels like a year ago, maybe even 2 years ago, we actually had them both in Hawaii live streamed on a CAF update. That wasn't able to be something that we did this time around. But there are the two statesmen of the hobby that we have shared a lot of screen time with me and others on the channel. They wanted me to let everybody know, and especially Nick, who is not with us tonight. I guess I haven't seen him in the chat, but they wanted to thank everybody for their generosity on Nick's show last week when Nick was raising money for some of the Maui charities related to the fire. And they just wanted everybody to know that they sincerely appreciate that, all the generosity that people in the chat showed. And yeah, and it's nice to see them getting to hang out and enjoy things. It was, they were talking about, Dino texted me and was just reminding me of those first couple of amateur shows that we had on Dueling Dealers as well. I mean, those two guys together are, they're electricity. They are fun to be with. And, maybe on their 4th or 5th anniversary of that first show, we said we would have them back on for an amateur show, which would be nice. Yeah, they, I love these guys. And, and I haven't told this to Jordan yet, because Jordan's always said, hey, if you're coming to Hawaii one day, let him know. But what I found out when the family got back from Tokyo is, believe it or not, the next destination for the Pokemon World Championships is Hawaii. So next August, I've told the family I'm not going to skip out on that trip. More than likely, what I'll probably do is go to Hawaii with the family while the Pokemon thing's going on, enjoy a little vacation there, and then Gwen and I will probably go on to Tokyo from there. So Jordan's in the chat. So Jordan, you just heard it here first. I'm going to be hitting you up next spring because we will be traveling as a family to Hawaii in August, like mid-August next year. So we'll finally get to hang out together. Looking forward to doing that. Yes, Pokemon in Hawaii. I bet you if Pokemon's smart, they will. They'll come up with a way to play on those words. OAX2 in Hawaii. Well, it'll be a little too early for an OAX2 in August next year, but yeah, that the OAX could travel around. It doesn't always have to be in Orlando. We could definitely figure something out. But yeah, Oahu Art Expo. There are possibilities for things that is OAX as well, right? You're absolutely right, Marcus. But yeah, it's always great to see these guys, and we need to do another show with Jordan and Dino at some point, even if it's not a sales show. Getting them together has always been some of the most fun we've had on the channel. I think is community. So there you go. So there's that photo. What other photos did I have in here? Ohio Art Expo. Boy, you're Marcus. No, we're not going to do one in Ohio. Here, see, like I said last week, my son Ashton is actually in the dinosaur costume here. So I told you my son dresses up in a dinosaur costume when he does these traveling shows. Well, there he is. We were all hanging out with him. There's Gwen on the left and Emma kind of underneath the dinosaur's mouth, hanging out there. And there's Jack and Jan. Those are Maureen's parents over there on the right-hand side. Jack's he looks like he's angry, probably because Maureen's holding onto his arm a little bit too tight. But yeah, Ashton, my son, that's what he does. He dresses up as dinosaurs, hangs out, entertains the many audiences. I think he's got He does like one show tomorrow and then 3 shows on Saturday. At any rate, yes, that's what he did. What else? Oh, I see. I knew you guys in the chat would love this. This just happened just a couple hours ago when we were in Epcot. I came across a whole wall of skulls, and even then, I wanted to buy one. And look at Maureen is like, no way in hell can you have one of those skulls. Look at that. She is like giving me the face. So there you have it. There's the truth right there. She will not let me buy anything with a skull on it, even just a skull, something as decorative as one of those. Isn't that awful? No fun. But you know, maybe I might have bought one when she wasn't looking. What else did I take here? Gosh, you guys. Yeah, all the yells. Yes, exactly, Peter Rowe. She wouldn't let me pick one of those up. What else did we do? Oh, see, I played a round of miniature golf on Wednesday. I don't think I lost. I didn't win though. I did not. That was at Disney. As you can see, I'm second putting there, so I didn't do very other well. Here, this was today when we were in Norway at Epcot. There was a whole Thor and Norse mythology section there. So look at that. There's a likeness, right? I just need to Photoshop in Thor's hammer for that. But I was wearing my shirt. Look right there. Thank you, Alex Garcia, as always, for that image. And what else we got there? Oh yeah, there you go. Ashton and I hanging out. He thinks he might be Odin, and see, there I am hanging out in front of Thor, right there. A lot of people were looking at us like we were pretty stupid. So but that's okay. I don't mind. I'm representing. It's like your twin. Yeah, in that picture, I did look a lot like that guy, right? I do need 6-pack abs. That's why I had to start drinking Zevia, Dino. I mean, like I said, I looked about 6 months pregnant. No, not 6-pack abs or anything. Oh, and that's it. That was my score sheet from last night. Mike Berkey, 11,075. Anthony Snyder, 11,800. So there you have it. Those were there's some photos from the day. Stomach crunches have never been my thing. Actually, a couple hernia surgeries put me on the sideline, and I've avoided doing a lot of ab work after that happened. So yeah, that's stomach crunches are not anything that I like to do anymore. I used to like to work out quite a bit, but yeah, ever since I had that, and that was like it was right before COVID, so about 4 years ago. I had 2 hernias in 1 year, and I was like, that's it, I'm done. I'm not cut out for a life at the gym, which is okay. Put the hat on. I think I left the hat in the car. I was in such a rush. I was just like, give me the keys. I got to get in the office. I got to get the show started. So hey, I got a packet of art to look at here. This is from, who's it from? Dexter Vines. I've got a show with Dexter Vines, I think, in 2 weeks. So I blew out the leather gimp outfit. I did not. Marcus. I did not do that. But I'll tell you, James, he keeps telling me I should get a tonal. So I may end up doing that. As long as I can avoid the ab workouts, I might end up going along that route. So let's see here. So Dexter Vines, we did a show with him about 4 months ago, right? I mean, I think it was maybe in April. So yeah, it's about 4 months ago. So, but I'll have Dex back on, and let's see here. I don't know at all what he has sent here, but he's got this bag extra taped up on here for me. Let's see. And as everybody knows, I've got Howard Chaykin on the show on Saturday. We only have about 14 or 15 pieces of art to sell, so I think I'm gonna try to keep that show down to like, if I can beat an hour and a half, I'm going to do it. There's some stuff that Howard and I wanted to talk about. He's got a couple projects underway. So we've got a few things to talk about before we do the art sale portion of the show on Saturday. But yeah, not a whole lot of art to look at. So that's okay though. You know, I mean, I definitely want to start transitioning into doing a few more just like interview only shows with artists and not always doing the art sale stuff. Let's see here. What do we got here? Everything's in one bag. So bear with me. I'm almost in there. And I know, because he did tell me some of the art will be blue line, but as you know, as we know, even when we did the last show with him, I will let you know what's blue line and what isn't. We'll see if we can tell when we look at these what's blue line and what isn't. All right, what do we got here? This one doesn't have anything written on it. That doesn't help me. Some guy with rollerblades, and it's not written on the back. It's on DC Comics stock. What's it say? I don't know. I don't think the engines will take the strain, Captain. I have no idea. Somebody holding a MasterCard blurb. I don't know. I don't recognize that one at all. Not sure of the artist either. But there's one piece of art, but nothing else on there. I've got well, this is cool. We didn't have this last time. We had blue lines before. Well, here we've got some Chris Sprouse pencils on one board and Dex's inks on another from a issue of Black Panther. Looks like issue 17. So that's cool. So definitely was blue lined here, but we get the pencils with the art. That's cool. I mentioned that to Dex after the show last time. I told him that if we could actually have the pencils as well as his stuff, we might actually sell some of that blue line things. And here we go. I guess that's what he was doing. So here's another Chris Sprouse Black Panther page from issue 17. We got something from Amazing Spider-Man. It's McNiven Vines, and I don't see any pencils, but I don't see any blue lines on it either. So I can't tell if this is blue lines or not. But I don't see any. He's got a lot of fine ink work on this. So this is from Amazing Spider-Man 548. And we've got Jason Pearson, Dexter Vines, Deadpool page. Deadpool has he's got 4 headshots there, and then he sticks the gun in the mouth of the 5th guy. Is this blue lines? And again, I can't tell. We'll have to find out. So Deadpool page with Pearson pencils or potentially Pearson blue lines, and then another one from that same issue. And something from Mandalorian, George Genty. Potentially, now that looks like I can see some blue line on it. Or, yeah, I don't think that's blue pencil on there. So my guess is this is ink on a blue line. George Genty, a Mandalorian, another page from that same issue, it looks like. Now, I could be wrong, but I see all the perspective lines drawn on here, and they definitely look printed. But we'll find out. What else we got here? Oh, look at that. A Spider-Verse team-up. And it's Williams and Vines. Now, is this... I think we had a page or two in the last sale with Dex from this book. I believe this is pencils and inks. Because I don't see any blue line on here at all. But there you go. What is that? Three Spider-Men. I think this is after or maybe before they fought what was it? Sinister Six was in that. I remember Green Goblin for sure. Okay, Colin says Genty had pencils. Oh, had the pencils of heroes. Okay, yeah, those Mandalorian pages definitely look blue line. And here's one, Joe Bennett, the Terrifics. I'm pretty sure the Joe Bennett Terrific stuff was blue line. I can kind of see some, I think, blue lines in here. Like, the lighting isn't good when I do the show, everybody. But yeah, this one I'm pretty sure is blue line. We've got an Ultimates 4, issue 1 page. Can't tell on this one if it's blue lines or not. Again, we'll find out. I've got Ultimate Avengers issue 3 page, Carlos Pacheco. If I'm not mistaken, these were pencils and inks, because I remember Nick picked up, I think, a splash from this issue on the last show. So, yeah, pretty sure that's Pacheco, pencils, Vines, inks. Then another Ultimate Avengers, Pacheco, and Vines. So you got Red Skull, Cosmic Cube. I know it's kind of glaring. I can't really get it to not glare. Oh, there you go. So what do we got there? Lots of bullets flying at Red Skull. Murata? What? No. I can't read what that says. It's from Red Robin. There you go. I don't know if that's... that might be blue line. Nice splash. Couple more here. Couple more. We got something from Buffy season 11. George Genty again. So I'm going to take a wild guess and say that's Blue Lines. Colin, you would probably know. Genty Blue Line pencils and Vines inks. And another Buffy page here. This one, Buffy season, I'm assuming it's 11, issue 9, and George Genty pencils again. Right, and it's got to be Blue Line. All right, there we go. Ra's al Ghul. Yes, Peter Rowe. That did look like Ra's al Ghul in that one page. Yes, yeah, right here. But I can't tell who the penciler is. It looks like M-A-R, could be U-S-T-O, or I guess it could be Marcus Toe. Marcus. I think it was Marcus that might have drawn this one. But Marcus 2. I don't know. But I can't tell if it's Blue Lines or not. I will let everybody know once I talk with Dex. So there we have that. All right. Art. I think that's the only package I've got to open up for you guys tonight. As everybody saw last night, I did get a Captain America mask. Thank you to Jeffrey Moy. No, I'm not going to wear it. If Jason's watching, yeah, you can forget that. But thank Jeffrey Moy for sending me this. I appreciate it. I don't have to wear that stupid thing anymore in the back. I'm happy to film memes now with this Cap mask over the one that Berkey gave me. I'm going to send that one back to Mike. All right. They do gray lines now, which are hard to tell, says Jason. I mean, that might be it, because on some of those I can't tell. But if I think about 40% of the stuff he gave me the first time around were blue or gray line, I guess, right? No packing list. No, there was no packing list in this one, Marcus. I'm sure I'm going to get an email. I put the mask on. There's no claims tonight, Jason. I have no reason to put the mask on tonight. Clearly, it worked pretty well last night. I don't know what was going on with everybody last night. I mean, I kind of felt like we were going to have another subpar show, and then we ended up having a really great show in the recap, which was very surprising. So speaking of that, I should probably, I could show the schedule, but I didn't even update it. So whatever schedule I've got is going to be basically showing you where we were at last week. Yeah, because as you can see, I've got Howard on Saturday, Koyson on Monday, Lee Palmer on Tuesday. Yeah, we've got a few other things on there, but Simone's after that. See, okay, Dexter, I don't even have till the 16th. Boy, he got me my art early, didn't he? Wow, that's like 4 weeks away. Well, I'm glad he did. Maybe I'll get some more things from Dex before we do the show. I've got Amanda Connor the week before that on the 9th on that Saturday, and I've got to talk with Jimmy. He hasn't really. Well, he had a busy summer, but he and I got to talk so I can kind of get on the same page with what artwork Amanda's going to be bringing to that. And I wonder if Jimmy will be hanging out with Amanda during that whole interview and art sale too. So I'll have to find out from him on that. But the big ones to remember, of course, I've got Jordan and Matt on Labor Day. That's on the 4th. It's a Monday, so regular 9 p.m. start time. So I hope everybody can tune into that. We have only had, I think this is only like the 3rd or 4th amateur show we've had all year. And, I blame myself. I don't solicit it at all. I don't talk about it. And I was always leaving that up to people to come to me and say, hey, I want to do a show. I can tell everybody that Jordan is always open to doing an amateur show. So anybody that ever wants to, partake in a show, I can say we will always have a willing partner in Jordan, as long as it fits his schedule. He does, being in Hawaii, he has to actually ask for a day off. So if anybody wants to do a amateur show, we can get Jordan. We just need usually like 3 or 4 weeks notice. So just remember that. Try to give us that. But we always love doing the amateur shows. They're a lot of fun because they're just something different from hanging out with Anthony and Mike all the time. And Jordan says he's an easy target. That's not true, Jordan. Jordan just has we have so much fun together. Jordan's been on how many shows do you think you've been on, Jordan? 7 amateur shows. I feel it's got to be somewhere in that neighborhood at the very least. And so Jordan always, he's given us the great, moment in the bathroom with his art. Even before he's been on 8. There you go. See, I was close. 8 amateur shows, which is pretty incredible. No one comes close, I think, right? Mikhail's been on a couple. Jason has been on 2 or 3, maybe. And of course, Dino's been on 2. He hosted 1. So, yeah, no one can compare with Jordan's legacy on amateur dueling dealers or pro-ams, too. Pro-ams as well. Hey, Jiggy. Nice to see Jiggy in the chat. Jiggy's been securing some of his flights to OAX. I can let everybody know that. I think Mannix and Jiggy and plane ticket to OAX book. See, he's announcing it right there. Plane ticket to OAX. Sharon, you're right, Marcus. Sharon has been on 3. Kat's been on 3. Yeah, that's very true. So yes, things are starting to happen. We haven't, I'd say Jiggy and Mannix are definitely the first 2 flights that have been booked by people coming to OAX, because we haven't started handling them for the guests yet ourselves. We're getting there. But Jiggy, it's going to be a party with Mannix and Jiggy available. I think we're going to be talking with Jiggy and crew in the next month or 2 on some pre-con opportunities with OAX. I'm looking forward to hearing what they're planning. I think I've heard a few rumors from Jiggy, suggestions on what might be done, and while I won't announce them here until they're firmly committed on paper, they are very unique. They will stand out as opportunities go. So Jordan says he's been on 11 shows, counting the 3 pro-am shows. Well, there you go, 11 shows with Jordan. I mean, amazing, absolutely amazing. What are we in there? Oh, let's see. Mannix and Harvey have their tickets. Okay, good. Harvey's got his. Miko's probably already in the U.S., so he probably doesn't need one. James Siegel's is shouting VIP Mannix experience, which could happen. Could definitely happen, everyone. I can't vouch for that yet, but you will hear it here first, because we will definitely have Jiggy and Mannix and probably a few others on for a show to talk about pre-con opportunities there. And for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, I mean, I don't know, you've been under a rock for the last 2 or 3 months. OA Expo, of course, is the comic art and illustration sequential art expo that we're having in Orlando the weekend of January 26th through the 28th next year, 2024. Comic art fans, Comic Art Live, OA Expo. I mean, what more can you ask for? We've already secured I think 16 to 18 comic art dealers, reps, or auction houses in attendance. I believe we've inked our 4th collector table today. We're working. I had a conversation with Adam Kubert about pre-con opportunities with him. We talked about his the gallery of artwork that he's going to have on display at OAX. That's something we're still kind of working through the details on. As you can imagine, trying to host or put together a gallery, basically a pop-up gallery, and potentially 2 within the show, is going to be something that neither Kazra or I have tackled before, but we're up for the task. So talked with Adam a bit about what artwork he wanted to bring. He may bring some artwork just that would be, just to view, not for sale. He may have some pieces in the gallery exhibit that will be for sale. So we're working. I have another call with him probably in a couple weeks, but I can guarantee that there definitely will be a pre-con sketch opportunity with Adam, and whatever, we've kind of talked through it. Definitely what he'll be offering pre-con will be a little bit cheaper than what he would be doing at the show. So this is an opportunity for people to just basically guarantee that they're going to get something from Adam in advance of the show, and pay a little less for it than if you were able to get on a sketch list at the show. So again, all of you in the audience get we'll get the opportunity, and hopefully it doesn't sell it, because I told him I want to get one, because I've got a couple pieces by Adam, published stuff, but I wanted to get, if you've seen the stuff that he did at what was it, Phoenix Fan Fusion or whatever that was, and a few other places, it's those kind of head sketches that he kind of goes overboard on and does, adds color and stuff to them. So we're looking into doing those. They're small, but they're awesome, and they're pretty much what he's resigned to doing anymore. Ohio Art Expo. There won't be an Ohio Art Expo. But yes, more exclusives to come. You don't see Tom Layton on the list. Well, I'll make sure I correct that, Peter. I'll change his name to Tom and see how long it takes him to find out that we did it. Everybody's looking for Megacox t-shirts there. Yeah, I probably can't endorse the Megacox merchandise that is that appears at OAX, but I can't stop you from doing it. That's we all know that. But I don't want to run afoul of MegaCon and have anybody get their panties in a bunch about all the fun we're having with that name. But it won't be me. But yes, if anybody decides to print staff T-shirts, well, staff T-shirts could get me in trouble. But your own stuff, drinkware, T-shirts, stickers, bumper stickers. Like Jason just said, I can't stop you, and I can't. So you guys can do it all you want. But yeah, that's how it is. So I saw James suggested that I should go against Jordan in an amateur dueling dealer match, and maybe we could. Maureen hasn't pressured me yet to sell any artwork to make up for that big Cockrum X-Men purchase that I made. But I should start feeling guilty, about that, the fact that I haven't sold anything yet. So it's a possibility. That definitely is a possibility. Obviously, I think it'd be a lot of fun to have a match against Jordan. Lobster bibs. Rich Danny's, you are the man. That's a great idea. Lobster bibs with the Megacox logo. Yeah, I like that. Bill Tuck says panties in a bunch. Yes. All right, Marcus. Thank you very much for that. Yeah. Wow. Where do we want to go from here? Because you know what? I actually do have one video to show. I think I might even have a couple of things here. But I do have a episode of a Page I Love available for you. It is by none other than Jimmy Palmiotti. He actually went over our usual 10-minute allotment, so I'm only showing you about 7.5 minutes of Kevin Sharp's interview with Jimmy here, and because of it, and I'm actually going to have to kind of play this in my non-normal fashion by you don't need to know, but it's basically a different way of playing videos. But so this is Jimmy. Jimmy picked a page, and when I think about Jimmy, and I think about what art would Jimmy want to talk about? What he chose was not a page of art that I would have ever guessed. But I mean, he gives his reasons for why he picked it, and it actually segues into a second page. And I stopped the clip that I've put together for us when he segues into the page after the one he's talking about. I'll post the whole Page I Love segment on the channel tomorrow. So let me go ahead and cue this thing up here. Where's that video file hiding? Here it is. So this is Kevin Sharp once again, and everybody should be high-fiving Kevin. Kevin, recently, thank you for renewing your premium membership. I've had such a busy week, I wasn't able to send you an email yet for that. But everybody should high-five Kevin when they see him, because he's, this is a lot of work to kind of pull these things together. I think he's probably doing them over the phone with speakerphone on or something when he's recording most of these. So I try to bump up the artist or the writer who's talking, so it doesn't always end up perfect. But Kevin's put a lot of work in pulling these together. He's still got a whole bunch of other ones in the can, but the one I'm going to show right now is with Jimmy Palmiotti. So let me go ahead and pull this thing up here, and here it goes. Let's see.
Hi, it's Kevin Sharp, and today I'm joined by a well-known name on Comic Art Live, Jimmy Palmiotti, to talk about a page from Marvel's Conan series. Jimmy, thanks for joining us, and tell us about what you chose.
All right, Kevin, how you doing, man? So I chose a book that, when I was 12 years old, came out. So it has a lot to do with picture my 12-year-old brain and where it's at in the world. And it's Conan number 24, written by Roy Thomas and drawn by Barry Windsor Smith, sorry. Did the art on the cover and on the inside of the book. It is the first appearance of Red Sonja, and I think it's I think it's the first full appearance, because I think she was on one page the issue before on 23, but this is the one where it's considered her first full appearance. And I was a huge fan of a couple of things at the same time, right? I was a huge fan of Conan. And I was not the superhero guy growing up. I liked Superman and I liked Batman, but they were not like. But if I had like an action comic like Conan or science fiction or horror, I kind of like that stuff more than the superheroes. It might explain a lot of my career as I'm saying it, because I've always been like, I loved Jonah Hex at the time, and there was so many alternative comics that I liked, including undergrounds. I was going to head shops when I was a little kid and picking up the Corbin books, and all that stuff. But when Conan came out, I was buying it regular, and the crazy thing about the artwork by Barry Smith was every issue was getting a little better. Like it started out looking like Kirby, and I think that's he right before it he did a couple of X-Men issues and some fill-ins, some other books, and he looked like a Kirby ripoff when he started. And then as Conan started coming out, it was inked by different people, so it looked a little different each time. But this is where Barry actually inks himself. And in issue 24, we have a full story with Conan and Red Sonja. And this page we're talking about, basically, this is the story of this is it's right after they're walking in, like it's right after a bar fight, and they kind of started over one guy grabbing Sonja while she was dancing on the table, and then it turned into a brawl. And while the brawl is happening, you see it in the first panel, they're still fighting inside while Conan and Sonja kind of slipping out the side door, and they're kind of flirting here. They're kind of communicating. They're getting to know each other. We both established that they're both fighters, and now they're having a quiet moment, and they're both sweaty from the fight. And then they both die. They see a pool of these beautiful fountains by this ornate looking palace, and they both dive in for the cool off. And of course, Sonja, starting trouble, takes off her chainmail shirt and holds it up like check it out. And then Conan is like, the last panel, he's like hypnotized, and so there's so much to love about this book. I mean, just the first panel where they're leaving the fight, it's just the lighting. They're walking into another place, which is great. Like we're showing a transition panel. So we have the cut in the wall and then leaving one place, going to another. We have the flirtation where Sonja's kind of looking at Conan with her eyes wide open, like there's every indication she's having a great time. And Conan's kind of being his usual brooding self a little bit, which obviously she digs. And then the next panel, we pull the camera back and we do a nice establishing shot of the place they are, which is these beautiful palaces and gardens. There's even a peacock to the right, which is just to show how affluent, the area they are. Like it's almost like a marbleized ground, and it's marble everywhere, and it's these shiny streets. And then, I love the fact also that Conan is still holding on to his bottles of wine. Like he just won't let that stuff go. He walks out of the bar. He's like, as much as he's enjoying this, he is not letting that drink go. And when they both dive into the water, obviously he goes in the other way because he's trying to protect his drinks. But as reality happens, he loses. By the time we get to the fifth panel, he loses it and sees her. He's looking underwater and her diving in and looking at her, obviously admiring her. And then the next panel, she pops up with a shirt in her hand, and that's it. It's so 12-year-old boy. This is like the hormones are going for this page. There's so much. It's pretty to look at. When it was in color, it's just beautifully colored, and it had so much going for it. And texture-wise, I mean, it was something you didn't see. Where in superheroes, there's usually shortcuts with rendering hair and stuff. And I was drawing as a kid, and you look at that second panel. You see every hair of Conan, every hair of Sonja, which is something you don't see rendered a lot in comics. And then if you look closer at Sonja's hair above her eyes, it's like fantastically rendered. He actually gets abstract. They look like almost like fish swimming, the lines. It's like there's a line and a dot. So he's actually doing this technique in turn of the century black and white work where it's kind of like it goes beyond just what it is. He's actually creating this very fluid looking line, and again we go to the next panel, and he's rendering all the trees and all the feathers in the peacock and all the buildings in the background, and then her chainmail, everything on the chainmail up into where it's catching light, and which is Barry is great at, you know. And important to him, of course, the sword handles are lovingly rendered. Sonya's in the second panel. It's even got a little shine on it, you know, at the end of it. There's a lot of phallic shit going on in this second panel, you know, with the wine. There's a lot of stuff going on in this page.
I was going to ask you, as an aspiring artist, when you're reading this, is this inspiring to you, or is this like looking at the Sistine Chapel where you just say it's beyond what I can do?
No, you know, like, so the artist in me looks at it and takes it apart with my eyes. I'm trying to see how he did it and why he did certain things. Like the fifth panel, when she dives into the water, there's movement with the water behind her feet. But also Barry chooses to not let the coloring do it, but he makes the water black above. So he realizes when we're looking up, it's not light we're seeing, it's actually night, and it's a night sky. So he went black with the water. There's like choices he made, and then when she pops out of the water, he kind of leaves it to the coloring. He doesn't need to render the bushes around there, but he wants you to know they're in a private area now, right? He doesn't want. We don't see the buildings anymore. We don't see windows. We see bushes and trees, and that's to give us the sense that we're in a private area.
And there you have it. At that point, he decided to talk about the next page, and so I had to. I figured I'd stop it right there. So yeah, good stuff by Jimmy, and I'll drop the whole thing tomorrow, where he talks about what happened after that panel. You know, did they do the nasty or did they not? I mean, for those of you who read it, you probably already know the answer to that. But yes, but I like that Jimmy was kind of giving us the, you know, how were Conan and Red Sonja feeling about one another. He was giving us the blow by blow there. But yeah, you can't, back in those days, Marcus, you definitely needed to take the chainmail off before you dove into the water. See, Red Sonja, she that was a party foul right there. But I appreciated the fact that he was able to hold on to those wine jugs too. There were 3. So all right, well, we got a few more things to do here, but look for that full drop tomorrow, and you can hear what Jimmy has to say about the second page of that Barry Windsor Smith piece, and that would have been like the last thing I would have thought of. But as everybody has to remember, you know, that Jimmy would pick, right? But kind of go back to that same time period, right? And that's one where, I mean, kids in the early 70s still preferred Conan comics over anything that Marvel was putting out. I mean, there were in those early Phil Suling shows, there are some, you know, I guess surveys that were done with the attendees that were there, and I know they're online. I mean, I've read them myself, so maybe I should dig one up for next year. But it was like our next episode, but it talked about who are your favorite characters. Conan was always number one. But for adults and children, it was like there was a survey broken out between adults and kids. Conan was number one. So back in the day, that was it, man, was Conan comics. So hard to imagine. Yeah, yes, Conan would have to defeat her in battle first. You're absolutely right about that, Rick. So anyway, so I thought that was funny because like I saw like somebody guessed or thought about Darwin or someone else, I forget. But at any rate, let's see, what was it? Darwin and a Jonah Hex page would have been yeah, exactly number one Marvel fan, if not Darwin. But yeah, at any rate, so that's where things were back in the day. I see Chuck is in the green room, so definitely we do not have Mr. Snork tonight. Unfortunately, his internet is down for the count. Who knows when it will resurface? But hey, you know what? Chuck, can you give me the thumbs up? Are you ready to come in now? Chuck's ready. He's always ready. So let's see. We'll bring Chuck in right now. Hey, Chuck, how's it going, man?
Hey guys, good to see you. Bill, what page would you pick? What page that inspires you? Like,
you know, honestly, if I did, I would probably go back to some, you know, if I were a comics creator. I mean, what was inspiring me to want to be a comics artist when I was a kid? You know, was I can't remember, was it issue 112 of X-Men when they were battling Magneto in the Savage Land? I might be wrong on that. I can't. Maybe it's like 114. Somebody in the so it's the cover that Bob Layton inked. I remember that one where remember they're slugging Magneto. The lava's coming down around him. But there were all these like jungle scenes, right? And I remember, when I was first trying to learn how to ink, that I wanted to try to ink like like I think Terry Austin probably inked the interiors on that. So for me, it would probably be just one of the Savage Land scenes from that book. I can't even say if there would be major characters on it or not, but I just remember trying to learn how to.
The one with Wolverine and slashing Sauron and.
Yes, exactly. Jungle Love. Yes, exactly, Rick Welch. But yeah, I'd have to go through that book. I bet I could probably pick a page out of there. Yeah. Because I do remember just looking at that and just trying to learn how to. Because I remember they would draw like a half snowy, mountain peak, right? And instead of just leaving it as a regular shape, I remember I think it was Austin again. He's inking and he would just draw these. Lines equidistant apart to kind of show you where the snow was and where it wasn't, and then, where that would have been the rock. And I remember just trying to draw Savage Land scenes, in ink with my Rapidograph pens, which were crappy as hell to try to
You always had to blow them out with that stuff. Yeah,
exactly. But that's what I had. I didn't know because I had I tried. Every time I tried inking with a pen and India ink. I just couldn't master it. Every time it would be like I might
a crow quill or a hunt 102 or something.
Quill, right? Yeah. Exactly. It would make a mess on the page. I'm like, how the hell did these guys do this? Yeah. And I didn't really get the idea that they might be using brushes and at sometimes, but yeah, okay. Kazra says that was 113. Oh, that's close. I was right around it, 112 and 114.
I remember seeing that, where the Beast had the snow and he's carrying Jean Grey and he has the snow like building up on his face, and how cool I always thought that was. It's funny. I'm a few years younger, but not much younger than you. But to me, it's like that splash that Jim Lee did of his first X-Men issue when Captain America is jumping and he has the shield. Yeah. I mean, that just blew my mind that anybody, and he did this thing that I hadn't seen before. And I always liked John Byrne, but John Byrne, like that X-Men stuff, I always bought, going back. Paul Smith and John Romita Jr. was really John Romita and Jr. and Mark Silvestri were my X-Men artists. And then when Jim Lee came on and he did this thing where you would see a little bit of Captain America's eyebrows popping out from under his blonde eyebrows popping out from under his, I just thought that was just mind blowing. So there's just something about that splash that's just like, I am here and here I am. I will, it was like his Scorsese move there or something. But anyway, I don't know if I would pick that one, but that one was one of the first ones that came to mind. It's such an interesting thing. And, to those guys, with Barry Windsor Smith, when he came on, that's probably like with us when Arthur Adams comes on the scene and because he was doing kind of Michael Golden. Michael Golden may have been that for a different generation, but for me, it was Arthur Adams coming in and doing that. And you see all the little detail, and nobody else was doing that. You've got the best, John Byrne and George Perez. But then you've got somebody else new that's younger coming in with, piss and vinegar, and they come in and they just like blow it out. And that's what Barry Windsor Smith was doing there. I mean, he's just like drawing every little line where most of the guys that were older guys, especially at that time in comics, they were like, oh my gosh, I don't want to draw more. I want to draw less.
Exactly. No, that's probably very true. So it makes sense that Palmiotti would view Barry Windsor Smith as somebody to look up to, a page that made a difference in his artistic trek. That makes a whole lot of sense. It could have been that or a Wrightson, and either one would have surprised me, right? If he would have picked something from Bernie too. So, but no, it's cool. I mean, and I hate to say it, that early Windsor Smith stuff, I've never really gone back and read, or really, the only things I've ever really looked at really are the original art that gets posted after I see it at auction. I've never gone back to really look at complete stories to get a vibe for it. I never read the Conan stories. I hate to say it. I kind of should be embarrassed by that. But then again, I did interview, Mr. Mao on Tuesday, and didn't watch the Dave Stevens documentary.
No, I still haven't watched it first.
No, I didn't.
I didn't. Busy.
I know. Somebody gave me crap for that today. Who was it?
That's
I can't
funny.
even remember. Maybe it was Kazros.
It's pretty good. I watched it when it. I don't know. I supported the Kickstarter, and so when it came out, I got the streaming or something like that. But I got the DVD and everything. It's pretty interesting. It has some good insight to Dave. Dave Stevens was an interesting individual. He really was, and what a great artist. So I'll say I haven't watched all of the Kelvin interview. I popped in, I think, at the very end of it, but I didn't watch the whole thing. But he's got a nice collection.
Yeah. No, it was shameful, Rich Danny's. I completely agree. It was always on my mind because the reason I thought about doing the interview with him was when I saw, the Dave Stevens documentary pop up on Amazon Prime. I'm like, why the hell have I never had him on here? And it's always had in the back of my mind. But
I didn't hit play.
No, I didn't. I've been binge watching. What the heck is that? The Star Trek on Paramount Plus, whatever that
new one, Strange New Worlds.
Strange New Worlds. Yeah, I'm on.
I've watched the first few episodes.
Yeah, it's not bad. I'm kind of halfway through season 2 now, but yeah. So I screwed up.
To go back to the thing about Conan, I've kind of really gotten into John Buscema lately. But the thing about Conan, and I think it's one of the things for me lately, is like there's a lot of made up places and words, and it makes it kind of hard to read for me sometimes because they're saying all these things and you just don't understand what they're talking about. Maybe I'm just dumb, I don't know, but like it's always like, oh, we're going to this place and this place, and I'm like, I don't know what any of that is. Right. And so a lot of times with Conan, I'm just looking at the art. But there was a really good John Buscema graphic novel he did that I picked up recently that was pretty good. It's just a fun and good adventure story, which I liked a lot. But yeah, that early Barry Smith stuff, when he was Barry Smith, not Barry Windsor Smith, it's a little bit primitive. It's more primitive than like that refined, beautiful work he started doing on, exactly. On the stuff that he started doing when he started doing X-Men and the other or even before that when he was doing like the studio stuff, when he started doing that like pre-Raphaelite and that beautiful paintings that he would do, which I just love that stuff. So anyway, you know what? Last week we talked about art and I was like, I'm not buying anything. Well, then Albert did a drop last week. And he had all of these great. This is a book by Chaikin called Midnight Men that he did in the 90s. And he dropped the first 6 pages. I don't know. There were 6 pages of Midnight Men. And actually, I acted with discipline because I had all 6 in my cart. And then I was like, I don't need all 6. I just took the first 3. So,
you didn't need 6, but you needed 3.
Well, the last 3 were all chatter pages, but the first 3 have some really cool. Like he did this movie strip thing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And so it's talking about the different Midnight Men over time, and then you get some nice Howard Chaykin poem trees there. And this is the first page, so it's almost like a movie serial and kind of like Zorro / The Shadow. And so it's got some really nice stuff on there. And then, your regular Chaykin people are at a party in suits chatting page.
Oh, that's fantastic, though. Man, that last panel is incredible. You're looking at the back at 2 people, but I mean, what a great Howard Chaykin panel right there. That's amazing.
Yeah. So really good stuff. The next 3 pages were all like that third page, and so I decided, all right, I'm just going to take 3. But they're all the other 3 are gone now, so they're not even there tempting me anymore. But I was very happy to get those first 3. Anytime I can find Chaykin, like from Mighty Love and like back to The Shadow, I think, anything or I don't collect a lot of American Flag. Although you were talking about amateur dueling dealers earlier, I got a page from Dino of American Flag that I got a pretty good deal for on there. But that's my only Flag page. Otherwise, it's like Shadow to Mighty Love. Anyway. Right. There you are. That's my art show and tell. I sold like some of those little Paul Smith sketches that I'd bought, whenever I see one, just you can never get them. So like I ended up picking up a few. So I sold a few, basically for cost.
What did you get? What character?
There were a couple of Legion of Superheroes, and there was a Human Torch. The Human Torch I actually didn't get from Paul. I got from sometimes you can find them real cheap on Comic Link. So I picked it up at Comic Link, but I also got a really good Superman one. So my favorite one was the Superman one. So I held on to that one, but I sold the other 3. So, and it paid for the art. So that's how you have to do it. I'm trying to be disciplined with it. Of course, then somebody had a Chaikin thing on Comic Art Fans today, and I was like, "Hey, is this still available?" But it was gone. Anyway,
It was gone. That's
it was
good.
gone. It happens. I was like, "Good."
Yeah. Well, that's. I guess I missed Albert's art drop, so I didn't get to see what he had there. But I've still got to get a good Chaikin example.
He did 2 art drops. There was one with just kind of like, "Hey, here's a bunch of art, lots of different artists," and then then there was a Bruce Timm one this week as well. Lots of great Bruce
Timm. I saw
Timm.
the email for that one, but I didn't. I missed that. Oh well. I should be. I got to refrain from buying. I thought when we talked, you were going to be refraining from buying.
Yeah, I told you. That's what I said. That's why I brought it up. I was like, I was refraining, but I can't. I mean, when that stuff happens, and listen, these were priced really reasonably. I mean, I got all 3 pages for less than $1,000. So
that is very reasonable.
I don't believe, and these were pages from a book that I probably have 6 or 8 other, right? 6 or 8 pages from. And so I really, when I see an opportunity like that, it's not like it's just going to like come up again. I'm never going to find these pages for 200. Somebody might be like, "Oh, here's one for $800. Isn't this cool?" or something, but it's not going to, so I try to be reasonable about it, but
did you see
as I'm
that,
sure everyone does.
Scott Doonbeer made a post on Facebook yesterday, or maybe the day
The
before.
Paul Smith thing.
Paul Smith one. Yeah,
Holy shit!
I know. I thought the same thing. And that just to see some of the art in the stacks that he got to scan. Would
you trade your entire collection for that Kitty Pryde? Boy, talk about a page.
I mean,
my life, but that's because I was like a 11-year-old boy and was.
Would I desire that page? A great deal. Yes. Would I trade my entire collection? No. But no, come on. I mean, I've got
Quietly's here. I think I'd trade every one of them for it. I don't know.
You would?
Maybe.
It means
that
much.
I don't know. I really have to price it out. I'd ask Jason if it was worth it. He'd be like, "Hell yeah, it's worth it." But that thing, I mean, it probably is.
Your Quietly's first is what? Yeah, that would be the second thing out of his mouth. One of those new X-Men Quietly pages or something like that.
Yeah. So it's no, I mean, boy, that Professor Xavier is a jerk page is just like, that's so cool. That's so cool. I love that page. That might be a one and done page, right? What was the guy saying the other night? He's like, "Is there anything that just like makes you bought it and then you're like, okay, I'm done.
You need a year off." Yeah.
No, I haven't had that yet.
That one maybe, but only because it would cost so much. But yeah, no, I couldn't do it. I mean, I couldn't give up my whole collection for it. But and the thing is, for me, I'll be honest. I was a little older when Kitty Pryde came on the scene, so I know a lot of people were like, Kitty Pryde was, you could relate to her. She was like your age. For me, it's like I never had that like. I liked her as a character, but I didn't like. It just wasn't as attached to her. But the page again, completely. I would, I'd love to own it. Yeah. But for me, whatever the Brood issues were pretty cool. I'd love to have a page from there. And again, I think those are probably the more sought after, some of the most sought after storylines that Paul Smith worked on.
I think all of the Paul Smith X-Men
stuff. Well, all of it.
Pretty. I mean, maybe the stuff after 200. I mean, didn't he do some, like he came back for a couple of
years? Yeah, the later stuff, when you see it, it's just not the same.
Or maybe that Kitty Pryde, and there was a later Shadow and Flame miniseries. So you could probably find that stuff a little bit more reasonable, but I bet it's anything that's going to be from like X-Men Alpha Flight or any of that, what is that? 165 to 175. I mean, he only did those issues, and Walt Simonson did one of them, right? Isn't that right? So it's like 10 issues, 9 issues that he did. One of them was double sized that actually John Romita Jr. did half of, although 168 was double sized, I think. Anyway, or no, 160. Anyway, one of them, the one with the final Brood fight,
right?
was double sized, I think. But I mean, there's not a lot of those pages out there, but it's such a memorable and just, I mean, it was, again, it was looked different than anything it ever, it's like you go from Dave Cockrum. I know you guys like Dave Cockrum, but like you go from that to this like Paul Smith, and it's this like slick line. Everybody's handsome and cool, and I don't know. It's pretty amazing.
I do like Dave Cockrum.
I know.
Yeah, but I want a Paul Smith page. Trust me, I definitely do. It's just, I mean, Paul Smith pages are going for as much or more comparable Cockrum pages from a couple of years earlier. It's just because there's so few.
Are the Cockrum pages from the later run less expensive, like the second time when he came back after Burn, than the first run?
We could say they're less expensive, but I mean, try to find one that's under $10,000. These days.
Wow.
I mean, are they there? Yeah, but they're not, because maybe they've got like Banshee on them or something. But yeah, you put any of the prime members on the team, even from the late run, and they're you're not going to find them under 10. And
really
where's a Paul
amazing.
Smith page that you could find for under 10? I don't, I doubt there's any. I mean, every issue he drew was packed with characters.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's just no, there's just no way to get something from Paul Smith's X-Men run that you could consider.
That'd be the page where Wolverine is jumping in 173, and he's like and it's like in the silhouette, and you see the highlights. Still thinking about the page. I don't know, Bill.
But there were several other pages in that photograph. You can see
Leave It to Chance stuff, which looked really cool. And
and there was I think there was a Starjammers page from Uncanny in there. I mean, there was I was jealous. I was thinking
how exciting though is that Scott has become this like traveling scanner, going around and scanning this artwork and getting us these wonderful like artifacts and artist editions, and then also the smaller ones. I mean, like they are just, I mean, you see I have a whole wall. They're all of them. I have as many as my walls can fill. I just got the Michael Golden one last week. I love them. We can't all afford every piece of art that we'd like to just, of course there is no stopping. The only cure to wanting more art is getting more art. So so the artist edition's kind of like, it's like what is it, methadone. It's our methadone,
right?
For the junkies, you know what I mean? Like, oh, I guess I'll take my artist edition and just sit with it, because I can't have as much art as I want. So I don't know. I love them. So I love that he's doing that. How cool that he went ahead and announced it. There's there's a Batman Year One. I think that's coming out soon. There's been rumors of a Quietly one happening, which I think I would be very happy about.
I've heard those rumors too.
Yeah. So, and whatever else they come out with, I mean, I'll have any of it. I love it. The Marvel covers, I'd love to see more, an Arthur Adams one, that would be great. Something like that.
Yeah. I can't imagine that they wouldn't. I mean, John Flesch just did that Art Adams book, but it was not as Marvel stuff really, but yeah, I can't see how Art Adams is not on Scott's to-do list.
Yeah. Or Barry Windsor Smith, I mean, I thought we were getting a Weapon X one, but we didn't. So,
right. Yeah. I've never had him say anything about Barry. I don't know. He and I are long overdue for a phone call. So maybe I'll try to get some information out of him.
All right.
Anything. Well, but I'll probably have to say, is it public or not? But yeah, we'll see. Rich Danny's wishful thinking saying could be a prelude to Smith letting go of some of his originals.
Hey.
Yeah. You never know. He knows how valuable those things are too. And I mean, if he's held on them this long, and that people have had to have asked him about this, I mean, he must just not want to sell them, which is not a terrible thing.
Well, I feel like in the comments that Scott said some of them were Paul's, but that a lot of them weren't. Like some of them were his, but a lot of the art wasn't Paul's.
Okay.
So
I did not read
I feel like I read something like that because somebody commented, "Oh, it's so great that he held on," and he was like, "No, a lot of these weren't Paul's, but some of them are Paul's." So who knows what he held on to? I don't know.
We will find
Whatever. Professor Xavier is a jerk, though.
Yes,
that
he
thing.
definitely,
Love it.
he always was, but Cyclops wasn't. He was. Oh man. Well, let's see. How about
Cyclops was leaving? He was going. He was out. He's like, I'm out of here. I'm gonna go marry the clone of my ex-girlfriend.
man? Come on, you talk about like maybe Cyclops is a jerk.
He was a jerk. No, Cyclops was totally a jerk. You know what he did when he found out his girlfriend was back? He left his new wife with a baby in Alaska. Just left, and then just didn't call her, didn't anything. Was just like, nah.
I was a little shocked when that happened. I have to admit. I think he dropped a few rungs on my favorite X-Men ladder when that happened.
And wasn't that Bob Layton? Didn't Bob Layton write that stuff? I think it was, right? Didn't he write that X Factor stuff? I'm pretty sure those first issues.
I guess he could have.
It was Bob Layton and Jackson Geist or something like that. I feel like it was Bob Layton that did those first like 9 issues, 10 issues, and that was he was. So you might want to talk to Bob about that.
There you go.
If that it was
bootlegging, says Chuck nailed it. Cyclops is a deadbeat dad.
Man, you're right.
All right, he's less and less a hero to me now. Everybody.
Well, I mean, but listen, he did have a cool costume. I mean, and he always was like the leader of the team. There was some cool stuff, but then people always, it's kind of like, you have the iconic version of the character, and then new writers come in and they're like, well, this guy's boring, so let's try and do something interesting with him. It's like when somebody tries to do something interesting with Superman, they turn him into not Superman.
Mm-hmm.
So Cyclops, I don't know, it's just another character. It's all soap operas anyway, you know what I mean? Like they're good guys, they're bad guys, they're whatever. So
it is what it is.
Yes, it is what it is.
Well, let me race through some things here so we can get through our fun part of the show. So I'll go through my heritage picks really quick, and then I can show off the tomorrow night's preview for Nick. But heritage, I'll just go quick here. I had a Joe Chiodo, right? Is that what it was? I remember when we had
Joe Chido.
Chido. No extra O in there.
It's
that's
Joe
right.
Chido.
That was.
I only know from that Jim Lee video.
Well, the Procaccio
he says Joe Chido, and he plays ping pong against him.
Well, Portasio, when I interviewed him, said the same thing, and that's why I was like, man, I've been saying it wrong this whole time. So anyway, so there's Joe Chido. What do we got? Alien Worlds #1 cover. I've got, and these are all in the next Wednesday weekly auction for Heritage. So John Byrne.
Nobody bid on this one.
Sorry, I'm showing it. Chuck and I didn't review my picks beforehand. I like this page though. I mean, come on, you get Superman and Darkseid.
And Darkseid shoots himself.
Exactly. I mean, it's a very slick page. It's at $500 right now, but I like this one a lot, and I think I of his DC work, I always like the Superman work.
And this is Dick Giordano inking him. I mean, you can tell because if you look at this page pretty close, like it's a little looser. I mean, come on, that Superman right there is like, I mean, he drew Superman's legs, but you've got the cool John Byrne background there, and you've got the cool Darkseid. So, and then the rest of it's pretty. He went pretty fast through it. There's Superman's legs and a little bit of cape in that second panel. So. But I love John Byrne, and that era of John Byrne is my favorite work of his. Most definitely, he did great work on Superman, even though he won't say so.
Then I got a Jose Delbo, Alfredo Alcala, World's Finest page. I know it's fading. That's the unfortunate part. Which I thought was worth pointing out. I mean, I know we kind of pointed out when we see it, but dang, those guys who used permanent markers. They really weren't permanent, gentlemen, or whatever the heck they were using. But those markers, flare pens. That was big back then, wasn't it? Those darn. I remember my mom buying me those to draw with. But as you can see, I think this thing could have been stored, not in the light, in a cupboard somewhere. dark all the time, and it still would have faded and ended up like this. But I like the page a lot. I like the layout. I mean, I think it's funky. It's of the period, right? I mean, what was the year on this one?
The long-eared Batman,
long-eared Batman,
yellow circle, and the bat plane.
I thought, I mean, I love the. I assume those are razor cuts on there to do that.
Mhm.
So cool stuff.
Yeah.
Cool stuff there. Then I picked a Dan Jurgens. This is for all you Legion of Superhero people out there, because I know they're out there. I only liked Legion when Giffen was working on the book, but this is a Dan Jurgens, Carl Kessel page. So just putting it out there, letting everybody know it's there. Mickey, I'm sorry if you didn't want me to do that, but again, we don't see too many. And I think there's like 3 or 4 Legion pages in there this week's auction as well. Then Art Germ, yeah, he draws a pretty face, doesn't he? So I like his stuff. So and this one, hey, it's only a $3.50. I mean, probably get it for a little less than you could have picked one up at Como or wherever else Stanley is going to next. So, but I always like his stuff. I mean, I've never been much of a pinup art collector kind of person, but I don't know. He draws a good lady. And then this one I thought was an interesting page. Oh, and it's like so does other people. Clearly, it's at $925. It's a Frank Miller, Bob McLeod Marvel 2-in-1 page from '79, and you only get the thing in a couple of the panels, but damn, the shadows in this thing, right? I mean, it's not, and even just the spot blacks, right? I mean,
he's
Bob
doing
McLeod,
Durango here, isn't he?
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but at this top panel, it's like I want to see a bunch of dogs with playing cards on that one, right? But either way, it's just a really nice page. And Bob McLeod, he inked a lot of people. He's like, like a Dan Green or like a Bob Layton. They great artists in their own, but they were really fine inkers too. But yeah, how often do you get? Oh, that's Ms. Marvel too. Shoot, I didn't even notice her. So you get a Ms. Marvel. You get Nick Fury hitting on Ms. Marvel. And the thing as well is that like Wonder Man in the back? See, I didn't even
Wonder Man. They're playing poker, and he's saying nobody can wear sunglasses when they're playing poker with us.
See, I didn't even read the damn thing. I just
but look at how off the perspective is. I mean, Frank Miller, he's still figuring out how to draw, isn't he?
Right. This is awful, isn't it? Yeah, that truck in the back. He's like putting Matchbox cars down and trying to draw.
It's distinctly Miller. I mean, if you showed me this, I'd be like, I wouldn't know Bob McLeod, but I'd be like, oh, that looks like Frank Miller, or maybe, and it's got a little Ditko there in the last
it definitely does, and a little Stranko, like you were saying,
Franco in it. Yeah.
But yeah, it's at $925 already.
Learning to draw.
We are not going to see too many interior, pages go up to almost $1,000 in the first day over at Heritage. So clearly, a few other people saw whatever it is I saw in this too. But I mean, I think it's awesome. Early Frank Miller. Then this is a Starlin Tony DeZuniga. What was it from? Marvel Preview 10. But
you can call that a Jim Starlin page.
No, I know. Well, it's his layouts at the end of the day. But you get Odin, Thor, and Loki on it. So I mean, for me, I didn't read this story, but I love it
from a magazine.
It was Marvel Preview. Marvel Preview 10.
Yeah, because it looks like one of those magazines when they were doing like that ink wash or marker or whatever they're doing it on with the Marvel. I love the Marvel magazines. As a matter of fact, lately I've kind of gotten into where I'll pick one up here and there. There was a John Buscema one that he did that was like some sort of Lord of the Rings fantasy thing that I picked up last weekend. I love this stuff. It's so interesting and different from they spend a little more time on the stuff than on the regular when they would just do the kind of regular books. So this is a nice page. Very nice.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, I don't see Jim Starlin there.
No, neither did I. But whatever. It's still a good page, and I like you. I love the Marvel magazine art. I would love to get a decent Hulk page would be good.
You should buy that last one, that Thor one that you just showed. It's on Heritage, Bill.
I know. I have yet to win anything on Heritage.
You're the king of comic art fans. You can
try as I might. I am. It doesn't give me any advantages out there. Everything I have bid on, I never get. I never win. So
gotta go to the mattresses. Oh, look at that thing face there. Ooh.
Exactly. Yeah, he does sound like he's saying that, doesn't he? I mean, I've always talked about wanting to get a Tusca a published page, but I thought this was cool. I mean, you know, we've seen a lot of Tusca con sketches out there, but I mean, how many characters are on here? You got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 characters on one George Tusca piece. That's not a bad Thor. Classic Iron Man by Tusca. Again, classic Cap, classic Doom. And you get Spider-Man, Black Panther, I mean Magneto. And you're right, the funniest looking one on there is Thing, isn't it?
I know. And he's George Tusca saying, I know how to foreshorten. They were like, Tusca, you know how to foreshorten? Let me show you. Let me show you.
Yeah, that's funny, isn't it? Everybody's got their that is really funny. Now it makes me want to buy it, Chuck, just for that. I mean, Spidey's whipping, he's holding his bow out. The only ones that are casual there are Black Panther and Daredevil, you know. Wow. And the Thing with that look on his face. So no,
what is Daredevil? Daredevil's hitting on somebody.
Right.
What's up, Karen?
Or you know, Black Widow somewhere, you know.
Right.
This pre-Elektra, I'm sure. But anyways, nice piece here. Then Alex Saviuk, Rubenstein, Web of Spider-Man. It looks like an end page, right? It's page 22. So I don't know. I always like Alex's stuff on there, and something about I just like the layout of this, the view from down the fire. It was probably not a fire escape, some kind of staircase, but I love that. Yeah, I thought the shadows on there were cool, and you know, again, just nice stuff. I love it. I have not owned a darn thing ever from Alex, but one of these days,
that one doesn't do it for me.
This one doesn't do it for you.
Something about it just seems like so off.
It's too off.
Yeah,
Perspective. I don't like the perspective on it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's more the figure work. It's a little too, I don't know, tight.
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, I can tell you
off there for me.
One thing I will say this: if any of you go there and you look at the full breadth of what's in the weekly auction, there really wasn't a lot of good stuff, and it was tough for me because I actually picked these. You know, usually I pick these on Thursday after the bidding has already started, right? But I had to pick these on Wednesday. So I was kind of going in blind. A lot of times I'll look at like best match or even then refilter it. Like, where is the bidding at to help me kind of find the best stuff. So I was literally looking at everything with no bids and looking at a list with no bids on it. I had the hardest time finding 10 pieces. I almost stopped it at like 7 because I was like, shoot, I can't find any other pages I want to talk about.
At the end, and I know it's not comic art, but they have some of these like painted pieces from storybooks and stuff. I know some of that stuff like Mike picks up cheap and tries to sell it really expensive on Dueling Dealers. But there's some really cool ones in there. Like there's some really cool stuff in there, like where they've got all these like cool storybook paintings and stuff. They're pretty neat.
There wasn't anything like that. It was a weird week of heritage stuff. So then I got this Derek Robertson. This is a Legends of the Dark Knight page. I just always liked Derek's stuff, right?
Yeah, me too.
And I mean, just everything here. I mean, I love all the scenes in here. I love everything about this page. A Riddler kind of card there at the end, but Derek is, he's a damn fine artist. And who's the inker on this? P. Clark. So either way, but again, see, I mean, I had to pick this. Right now, I bet you if we were to look at,
I like a brawny Batman like that though. Like he's kind of brawny with the with the beard. Derek draws guys like that really well, like brawlers.
Yeah, that's true. He does. Here, I'm just going to switch over just to look at where things are at because, like I say, when I was first looking at it, I couldn't find anything. So how did I miss that one? That's weird.
Oh, yeah.
I actually missed a decent Buscema Chan Conan page. So, well, that's bad. I don't know how I missed that, but see there. Look, so I got the second pick, I got the third pick as far as where they're at price wise.
Gold Key Battle of the Planets art
Top
from. That's interesting.
Yeah,
there's 2 more. You got Burn.
I got 4 out of the 6, 5 out of 7.
Jack Kirby and Al Williamson. That's interesting.
I saw that one, but I was like, if I pick that one, is everybody going to say, what the hell is Race for the Moon?
What the hell is
I have never heard of Race
for the old Harvey art.
But again, it's Kirby and Al Williamson.
Yeah.
It's not Wally Wood, but it's got, it's got guys in space. So, as I actually I saw this one and then I skipped over it. So I didn't get that one.
Interesting. Al Williamson, 1958, and then like 30, what is that? 30, 40 years later, or 30 years later, he's, inking Wolverine and Daredevil. I mean, that's amazing. Like what a career he had. And drawing the Star Wars strip. I mean, he was something else. Al Williamson.
Yes, he was. Well, I had 5 out of 7, and then I ended up 5 out of 10. So, all right. Well, it's not too bad. I was able to.
Giordano and Terry Austin. That's an interesting pairing. Is that Dick Giordano penciling?
That's actually
weird.
It's got to be. Yeah, I would say it's Terry Austin inks on that.
Terry Austin inking the Savage sort of kind of.
77. Then what else? We got a Jaime Hernandez, Love and Rockets.
Those are always great. There's one in every week's auction, but they're always good.
They are. They definitely are. But then, yeah, it's just kind of, Rawhide Kid. I mean, it was weird. Like I say, there just wasn't. I thought this was, Perez.
That's a good one.
Abel, right? Deadly Hands of Kung Fu.
Doesn't really look like George Perez, but yeah.
No. But anyway, so there you have it. So that's those are my picks, and I'm sticking by them.
All right. Good picks.
Thank you very much. Now we got, of course, the EXP preview for tomorrow night. It's what is it? 7:00 every Friday evening. You've got Nick Barucci, sometimes a guest. I think Kavi was on there last week with him, hanging out. He's always selling art and always talking up the hobby as best he can. So we're going to go ahead and show the EX preview for tomorrow. Remember, you can
Comic art hype man, Nicky B.
That is true. You never know what he's going to be wearing, but you know what he's going to be hyping. That's the good old comic art. Here we go.
Everybody, this Friday, August 25th at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, the Original Art Experience is going to have one of the most diverse selection of art we've had to date. It is going to be a lot of fun. And we have some art by artists we've never had before. And they might be even enticed into creating a contest. What do you think, Amy? Should we do a contest?
Not a bad idea.
All right, she said not a bad idea. That's thumbs up. Speaking of thumbs up, please don't forget to hit that thumbs up. So, we will have, check it out. This is JLA Spectre by Darryl Banks. We will have Guy Gardner by Mitch Bird. We have never had Mitch Bird art. We will have Ultimates by Dale Eaglesham, 3 pages. We will have a John Byrne cover reinterpretation to one of the best covers of all time, FF112. He does not do these anymore, as far as I know. I asked to get an Alpha Flight one. I was told no. We will have Captain America number 8, pages 17 and 18 by John Romita Jr. We will have Forever Evil by David Finch. And I want to say, what I love about this page is if you go back to Crisis on Infinite Earths, the first few pages, Power Ring in Crisis was afraid as the anti-monitor, as the anti-Earth, well, the anti-equation. I don't remember what it was called. I just remember him being afraid and then Jeff Johns using that in Final Night, having a power ring but being afraid. We're going to have this Jack Kirby recreation by Bob Layton. We're going to have, I got to stretch for this, Fantastic Four recreation by Doug Hazelwood. We're going to have, maybe we'll finally get to the FF578 by Dale Eaglesham. Figured I put the two FF together. We've got one more Iron Man commission by Bob Layton. We've got Fernando Pasarin, and it is Solomon Grundy. I'm not sure I've ever had Solomon Grundy. Then we have old school Dale Eaglesham, and maybe I'll do this one under $100. Then we have Brett Booth, Teen Titans double page spread. It is out of this world. Check it out. We also have this splash page by Brett. We will also have thumbnails by Marshall Rogers. And I'm going to bring the new Teen Titans color guide complete issue one more time. And there's a reason why. So, while we're at it, we're also going to talk about Dan Green. He passed away a few days ago, as Walt Simonson said. He took the last train out. And, these aren't going to be for sale anymore. but we will talk about his career, have a little bit of a conversation. This is rare Dan Green art where he actually penciled a story, and I believe, if memory serves me well, it was inked by Terry Austin. And we're also going to offer some art from Paul Pappas. Paul has 2 pieces of art that he'd like to sell, and he's been a great friend to the experience, so we're going to help him by offering those. And I keep talking about color guides. I keep talking about blue line art, and I thought, you know what? Here's a color guide I just picked up. This will not be for sale, but I thought we would talk about this. This was definitely a gem. I'm not going to call it a grail. I'll call it a gem to be in my collection. Grail can sometimes be overused. Then we have blue line art to Secret Origins, The Flash, that I think is really cool. Again, not for sale. Then I'm going to show some Rebirth art, blue line by Phil Jimenez, inks by Matt Santorelli. Again, I always talk about blue line, and just showing a few pieces from my collection that are not for sale, but just to show it. And speaking of Walt Simonson, if we get to it, and I think it might be hard to get to it with everything we have, we might show some Walt Simonson Avengers pages for sale. So, this Friday, August 25th, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. Tune in. Amy will make sure that I get through as much of this as possible, or she'll scream at me. And in a nice way, because you guys are there. When you're not there, maybe not so nice. Anyway, and she's going to convince me to do a giveaway, so we'll have fun that way as well. It's going to be a fun Friday. Also, remembering Dan Green, who has inked every superstar in the industry. I mean, Mark Silvestri is one of my favorite artists that he's inked. Just so many people. John Romita Jr., one of my other favorite artists. You guys know how much I love John Jr., so this Friday, August 25th, 7 p.m. Eastern, and hit that thumbs up, and I look forward to seeing you then. Have a good one, everybody.
All right. Boy, that's a lot of art.
That is a lot of art. How is he going to get through it?
I don't think he is. I don't know. I'm usually not home on Fridays, so I'm usually, unfortunately. But
I don't tune into him live too often. We usually eat late, like 7 o'clock is about when we usually have dinner, so I always end up missing it. But it's
there's ones for that Hulk versus Thing. I'd take that.
I had a feeling you might find that of interest.
I also really like Dale Eaglesham when he was on Fantastic Four, and he did like the I thought that stuff was great. The stuff he did with Jonathan Hickman. I don't really know much of his art, but there was, I'd love one of those pages, like something that has some of that cool Kirby stuff on it, or like Galactus or something from that run. He was really good, and I like it. I like the pencils. So the other thing I wanted to talk about, and this is the thing, I know you like George Perez. Yes. There was a George Perez on Albert's site the other day, the cover to Teen Titans number 19, and I think he posted it, and it's like where Donna Troy's thrown Nightwing into the window and into a glass, and like she's pointing at him like this, and you see her in the reflection. It's all color pencil. It's like $20K. It's really expensive, but I mean, it's just beautiful, just beautiful. Anyway,
you didn't buy it.
I mean, that's the thing now. I always think about something like that, and then I think, well, I mean, I got $20,000 worth of art here. I got a little more than that, really. So, you know what I mean? Like,
I know what you mean.
Gotta, like, I don't know. I gotta, So it's tough to decide. I see how a lot of these guys can, like, I'm always like, how can you sell that? And then I see, oh, they're getting something else. So. It's kind of how you got to play the game sometimes.
An upgrade somewhere that forces that.
Oh, it's
hey, but Chuck, I have to tell you, thank you for renewing your premium membership and your market data.
Yeah, I didn't realize. I was like, why does my cap look different? I was surprised. I was like, why does it look different? And I realized today that and people should get the add-on, the premium membership with the market data, because whenever you're worried, I mean, not that any dealer ever pays any attention to that, except I'm sure they all look at it, but they look at whatever the highest number is and then double that. but you know, I
By
mean,
and large.
that's their prerogative. They're the ones. They're the cabal that have the control over the supply that we all want so badly.
Exactly.
They probably hate Scott Dunbier. They're like, no, Scott Dunbier, don't give them methadone. Make them pay for it.
That is very, that's quite possible.
But no, I love the market data. It's cool.
Thank you. We don't have enough people subscribed to market data because because
everybody
there's the auction market data, and then more importantly, I think is the dealer market data. I mean, every dealer that I have hosted their websites, built their websites, I have all of their sales data going back to as long as I've hosted them. So Anthony, Mike, Albert, I've got sales data going back between 13 and 15 years on some of those guys. And
it'll just make you weep though. You look at it and you're like, oh.
Exactly. And I don't have thumbnails for all of them. There was a point in time when we decided to add dealer market data to the market data where I said, shoot, we got to stop deleting at least the thumbnail image off of the dealer's website. So now when a dealer deletes an artwork from their site, it does delete the large image, but I keep the thumbnails. So if they end up being in market data, I can always reference back to that. At least there's something. I didn't want to leave all these large images on there if I didn't have to.
Well, say what you will about Heritage, but I mean, you can go to Heritage and you can look up. That's why everybody thinks every All-Star Superman page is worth $10,000 because one sold for $10,000. Mm-hmm. You can go back and look at every auction and every. I love that. And great scans of everything. I wish all of the auction houses did it. I wish Comic Link did it, especially. But yeah, so it's great, and the market data on CAF is great, and everybody should just spring for it. Stop being cheap asses.
Well, maybe Chuck, I'm going to make a little commercial
that says stop being cheap. Chuck Arnold says stop being cheap asses. Get the market data.
Exactly, and I'm sure a few other people we could get on here too, and we could put together.
They'll pay $20,000 for a George Perez cover, but won't spring $150 a year.
Well, some people don't want to support the cabal. Apparently, I have no idea. I've been.
Are you the cabal?
No, I'm not. I've been associated with the cabal, but yeah, I'm probably about as far from the cabal as any of you guys out there. But
that's a bunch of. If I don't know, whatever.
I know
they do. I mean, I'm sure that that's
not a green screen.
No, not a green screen. These are all real books.
Look at that.
Big room full of books. There's books over here.
Nice looking room. Look at all those books, man.
That's a Raphael Grandpa right there.
You are the real deal. Look at that.
All over there.
Holy mackerel.
Yep. All books. Yep. A lot of it. I'm a collector, just like the rest of you.
Yeah. Save room for the art, man.
Yeah. The art just goes in the closet.
Blue lines, not green screen.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we can do the CAF update part of things. I can go quick because Ashton's in town, so I don't have any videos to show. I can tell you that the dealers had easily the worst week ever. 118,000 in sales, and that's compared to
take that cabal.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. That's a low blow, and so it was 168 the week before that. So that's a $50,000 drop to one of the lowest numbers I think we've ever seen since we've been doing market data reports. And the crazy thing about all of that, 75,000 of that was Felix, and almost all of Felix's, or a big chunk of that, was all commissions that were done. The top 6 items sold. I won't even show them because they're all commissions. Was a Paul Pope $6,000 commission, 2 Chris Stevens $6,000 commissions, a Paul Pope $5,000 commission, James Heron $3,000 commission, and a $4,000 commission from Chris Stevens. So the top 6 sold items from dealers last week were commissions from Felix. Without Felix,
isn't that something else? It's become a business. I mean, it's become a real part of it.
Yeah.
Like Paul Pope. What's the last Paul Pope comic you had? Battling Boy years ago.
Exactly.
Like that's it.
Commissions are big. I mean, I agree. But again, you take Felix's 75 out of there, and that's 43,000. What is that really 43? $43,000 would have been the sale amount from the dealers last week. That's
The bubble finally burst, Bill.
Or did everybody go on
They
vacation?
burn all day, every day,
But
quite least for nothing.
I remember, but
Coming
that was the week when both Mike and Anthony didn't hit 5,000 in sales, right? And they're on the show, so that it's very well could have just been a crazy down week, right? First week of school for lots of kids, maybe everybody's pulling back. I don't know. I mean, I think the economy has got. I mean, as a buyer anymore, I think it's clearly it didn't scare you to buy $750 in art the other day from Albert.
Well,
right?
but the thing is like listen, these guys, and more power to them. God bless them. Whatever you want to say, bless their hearts. They are the prices are not real prices. They put the prices that they want to put on there because that's the amount. But it only goes so high. People can only buy so much. So that's just kind of how it goes. And so if they stop selling, I don't know. Do they drop their prices? Are people buying more privately? I don't know.
Right. Well, I mean,
people are not buying art. I'll say that.
I would agree. It's funny. I bet you you know what? That's a good thing we can look at here. Why don't I think I can show some data here because I'm curious now.
Yeah.
I want to make sure I can show the screen before I show it. See what it is. Because I have weekly stats, weekly logon stats that talk about artworks added. Let's see. Does it?
I mean, I sold I bought that Chaikin art with 4 pieces of art that I sold. So I sold, and yes, it was less than $1,000, but I sold it through CAF.
Here, this is like a reporting page I have in the on the site. So what can I show you here? So in the last week, I run a report every Sunday that basically gives me a recap of what happened on CAF the week before. And for this one report, it talks about the pieces added. So it was a low week, 1,542 artworks added to CAF the week prior, and that week matches where the dealer market data comes out of. So it's I guess it's not terrible. I mean, there are lower weeks with artwork added, but I don't know. I mean, so I guess look at it. If you look over time, if we just keep scanning back weeks, this goes like this week here is the first week in in 2023, 1,600 artworks added. It's pretty consistent. So we're not really seeing a huge drop in art being bought, but maybe art being bought from dealers, at least the dealers I host, it's having an impact on in some way.
Well, but next week it might be huge because Albert, it depends on what people want. And it's such a different market now because so many people it's not just, it used to be the dealers probably would buy a lot of stuff from auctions. I know that they went to shows and brought things in, but also they would buy from auctions. Well, everybody buys from auctions now. We see everything in auctions. Well, a lot of times we'll see something and be like, oh, he bought that at auction last week for $3,300. Why is he asking $6,600 for it? You know what I mean? Like,
does he think he thought he got a steal at $3,800 or whatever? I mean, that's what we hear all the time, and we think
that's bullshit.
I know, but
bullshit.
Hey, but
it is. It's all right. I mean, I can say it. You might not. I can say it.
Well, but you looked at those pages you got, those Chaikin pages, right, at 250. Did you think they were worth more like 325 when you saw them?
No, I mean, I thought they were worth what they. I don't know. Maybe.
Okay, well,
I don't know. I guess I didn't. Let me think about that. I probably would have paid $100 more for them. I wouldn't have paid $300 more for them. So maybe, I thought they were a good price. But what is the midnight men market? Albert was probably like, I don't know if these things are ever going to sell.
Right. Exactly.
So,
Chaikin art will sell. So he could have always marked them up, but he didn't. I mean, that's,
but maybe Chaikin art is going to sell, or maybe he just didn't want to hold on to it, which is how people should sell things. What they do is they price them to the nth degree. If you want to sell something, you price it to sell.
Right.
Right. So if you want something to sell, otherwise you don't want it to sell. You just want more money.
Yes.
So,
hey, I'm with you.
It's funny. I heard Joe Quesada talking about that on an interview one time about Marvel Comics and why the prices went up. And he was like, well, we made them $250 and people paid $250 and then they made them $3. And so people paid $3 and the sales didn't change. So we just kept charging more for them. So, That's what everybody does. The market, it's not like the economy. People are working. There's more people employed than there have ever been. Everybody's working. Everybody's making money, but everybody said, oh, there was a pandemic, so let's just raise the prices on everything. I don't know. I'm sure there's some truth to it, but
well, it worked. It happened.
Yeah.
We can't say it didn't happen. I don't know if it happened in that way, because of the pandemic. We raised prices.
Yeah, but the prices never went back down.
No, well, people started paying more during the for whatever reason. And again, I think it had more to do with the fact that they weren't traveling to cons. They weren't traveling on vacations. They had extra money.
Yeah.
So you had people with a little extra cash in their wallet, driving up. I mean, that's what I think. And then of course it just plays into everybody. I look at my collection. I think it's worth 10% more than it was the week before, thanks to the pandemic. And dealers look at their inventory and think the same thing. I mean, it is what it is, but whatever. It's
interesting. I mean, it's all ethereal. Like the prices are all made up. It's like whatever somebody's going to pay for it.
Right.
Yeah, and that's true. But there's also a lot of people that are in it just as well. There are more people collecting art, but there's also a lot of people collecting art that are, trying to pump and dump and do all of the sort of things that people have done. And truthfully, it's funny because it's always been a part, and we can move on from this in a second, but it's always been a part of comics. It's always been a part of comics. There is this side of comics where you have this, you look around this room, I love comics. I've always talked about it. I love talking about comics. I love reading comics. I love comics art. I love all of it. It's nice that I'm a little bit older now and I make a little bit of money. And so, or a little bit more money than I did when I was a waiter. And so I'm able to afford, a little bit of art as well. And, I buy less X-Men comics now. But there's always been a part of this hobby and all of these hobbies, comics, and that's kind of a little bit shady. Like, it's like, hey kids, come look at all these things. Aren't they worth something? All of this stuff is, so that's kind of seeped into this whole thing. And it's always been a little bit, there's an aspect of it that is a little bit unseemly, but that's just something that you deal with. It takes all types. Everybody's welcome here. But yeah, the prices are they get absurd. There's no comps for it. And so everybody thinks, because, and again, I can speak from my own experience because we've had this discussion before. We were talking about the Quietly stuff, and I was like, well, there's a Quietly all-star page that I wanted, and I was like, well, I'll pay up to $10,000 for it. I knew I was paying more than it was worth. Well, I bid it up there, but somebody bid more than me. But now everyone thinks every page is worth that, and it's just not. It's just not, and they're seeing it. I mean, they're not selling for that,
right?
And maybe in the future, I don't know. Nick Patera will tell me to buy every one of them, but he's my like that little evil devil on your shoulder.
Poor Nick.
Yeah, buy it. Just go ahead.
Nick's going to be at OAX. We haven't officially announced it yet, but he's going to be there.
I love Nick.
I do too.
Love him. He's got it, and that book's coming out soon. I hope everybody bought Axe Wielder John. It's awesome.
I can't wait to get my copy.
Yeah.
So some like the conversations. Yeah, and Kazra says he thought it was going to be a short show tonight. I did too. The way it started.
Did you think it was going to be a short show tonight when I came on here, Kazra? He's always giving me hell about running my mouth,
but yeah, well, no, it's good to have these conversations. These are the things we missed from having our collector conversations from back in the day. We always would hit on topics like these, and they put us into some interesting, side conversations that we just don't normally have here. And I enjoy doing it. Kazra's turning into a pumpkin. Fun. It is getting close to Halloween. There were a lot of pumpkins at Disney World this weekend. It's full on Halloween season there already. But yeah, let's
go to Halloween Horror Nights, Bill.
I did not go. My son was there. We went to Walt Disney World on Tuesday for just a couple hours to drop him off at 4, and then we had to leave the park by 6 because they had that Halloween stuff going on. My son was there for that, but we were able to ride like Space Mountain and a couple other things and get out of there in time. But I don't want anybody else to turn into a pumpkin. So here, I'll show some art. This is from just the auction results, because the auction results were kind of okay. $473,000 in sales, over 273 the week before. But again, somehow Heritage managed to slip in a Vargas specialty auction last week that netted $100,000 in sales. I don't know how I don't see these. And not that I'd be a buyer, but I'd like to at least look at them before I get the market data report from Colin. but 100,000 in sales for I think it was 39 originals sold for almost 100. But I didn't even see them. I mean, I would have liked to. I mean, Vargas stuff is cool. But at any rate, so even without the 100,000 from that, it would have been 375 or so for auction houses. So it's good. But here are the top 3 from eBay. This one, well, we in our market data, it came back as $50,000, but that was somebody pie in the sky. You know, all J. Scott Campbell stuff should sell for half of 6 figures, right? So 50,000 was the asking price on this, but it sold for $21,000. This is the cover to What If Astonishing X-Men. So somebody paid $21,000 for that pencil art, all pencil art from J. Scott Campbell. Then second on eBay was what is this? Dutkiewicz and Palmiotti. Oh, Wolverine Doombringer cover. Some kind of a beautiful cover there with it looks like all of the prelims for it too. And this one sold for 6,000. Well, it was listed. Oh, this was I think this was an Australia auction. Once I did the currency conversion, it was actually at $6,150. And then and this one, I mean, I guess you could consider this to be a steal. A Charles Schultz peanut strip from '94 sold for $4,759. Which those, I mean, I know that the Schultz market has kind of gone down a bit, but I don't think I've seen a daily go for under 10 ever.
I'm reading the best book of interviews that Fantagraphics put out last year with interviews with Charles Schultz. It's really great. It's called What Cartooning Is. I pick it up sitting over there, but yeah, I love Charles Schultz. Seems like a good deal. It's got Snoopy and Charlie Brown on it, which I think would be like what everybody would want.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not sure which one was Colin was mentioning it was listed under fine art rather than comic art. What were we talking about? I guess I missed it, or maybe I guess one of those pieces. Maybe it was that one. Was it? It doesn't look like it there. But anyways, moving right along. Let me show you the 3 heritage picks that were the top sales from last week.
That one's good.
Yeah, the Bradshaw one was nice. This one was a variant cover to Silver Surfer Black, went for $8,400. Then there was this Al Jaffe, a huge set of illustrations, 78 in total, went for $6,000. And what was the last one? A Joe Staton, Dave Hunt, Superboy and the Legion of Superheroes page from issue 254, went for $4,320. So not bad. Not bad for Joe Staton. I mean,
for sure.
I'd be curious if I did a market data search on Joe Staton to see what, excluding covers, what would be his most expensive interior pages out there. I mean, I can't imagine, but that's got to be up there. Oh, the Vargas art. Oh, well, that makes sense then. Listed under fine art. I got to talk with Heritage. I don't get any of the damn. I mean, that something like that we could have promoted, right? But they listed it under in a fine art, not illustration art, and then nobody hears about it. So I mean, I hate missing out on that stuff. Anyway, and I'm not sure which artwork Mr. Easy Go Lucky's talking about. As far as emailing the seller, he told him it was a production proof. Oh, you mean the Peanuts?
Schultz.
Oh, well, then that would explain it if that was true.
Yeah. Why did it go for so much?
Yeah. Yikes. Interesting. But see, yeah, if he tells you when you email him privately, but nothing in the description it says original Peanuts comic strip art from January 1994, marked United Features Syndicate on the back, 21x7. That sounds like the right size, from a smoke-free home. Doesn't mention anything about it being production art. How in the heck would they list it like that and then tell Mr. Easy Go Lucky it's strip art or it's a production art? Well, that one's probably going to get returned.
Yeah.
Returns, 14-day returns on that one. Well, somebody will be sending that back
for sure.
Oh man. All right. So that was it. So that was the market data. So we can get into the popular picks. Now I know you're coming into this blind, aren't you, Chuck? Or
no, I texted Chris and I got his picks. So I saw them. I made my notes.
Okay. All right. So, good.
So I know what he picked. Some of them I was familiar with. I don't know if I would have picked the same ones, but Chris has got good taste. I can talk about stuff, but we'll go fast for everybody.
Yes, we are going to go fast.
Or they can just watch this tomorrow. That's usually what I do. Usually I just go to bed, but
I know it is getting late, right? It is 17 minutes to midnight.
Ooh.
All right. We can do this quick. We can do
Let's
this
do
quick.
it.
So let's see here. First up, Duncan Fegredo, BPRD, Devil You Know cover. Whew,
Yeah.
I love
These
Duncan's
are Chris's
stuff.
picks, but this is a really beautiful Duncan Fegredo. You know, he's like the second greatest Hellboy artist in the world, isn't he? You know, I mean, nobody's going to be better than Mike, but you know, this stuff, I mean, it's just beautiful. And his mark making is with the watercolor. I mean, you just it is a really beautiful technique, and it's definitely Duncan Fegredo. He's got you know, he does this like chiseled gray tone thing.
Yeah.
That is just you know, out of this world. Really, really beautiful piece. So, and has all of the, I don't know, I don't read the BPRD universe, but you know, I really love this.
Yeah, no, it's gorgeous, and I mean, I love it. All the foliage, the way he handles that, and it's true. Like you mentioned, he's got this chiseled way of painting. Whether he's you know,
like Lee Bermejo does, you know, he does that kind of like
shoot.
where, you know, you have the shape and
with, well, I was gonna say with Bermejo, it's easy to see how he comes at it because of the shape. You know, he'll almost outline everything, every chink, every dent, every chisel mark is an outline that he'll draw. But for Grado, he's just doing it all with the brush, almost seemingly with no guideline. I mean, he's
it's
amazing.
Pretty, yeah, it's amazing. It's like he just finds it in there. It's beautiful. Really, really great pick.
Definitely. Now, what was it? Somebody asked me. Oh, Frank Robert Johnson asked me about Comic Link auctions. We don't include Comic Link auctions in our market data. They were like summarized in the report, but I don't talk about them only because we don't have their, we don't have their sales data. So I can't give you the total amount that they sold. I can't even list highest to lowest because you can't do that after an auction on Comic Link. So that's why they're not in there. We only report on ones that we can report on.
Look at the face on this Colossus guy. I think that's his name. Like his face, like kind of looking down. Oh, man, there's just something really mesmerizing. And it looks like Mignola, but it's not Mignola. That's the other thing. It's obvious that Mignola designed these characters across the board at the same time. It's not, it's, you know, he has his own distinct style and his own take on all of these characters, which is, it's pretty impressive stuff.
Agreed. And whose calf gallery is this? Oh, Dave. I think there he is right there. Dave is in the audience. Congrats, Dave. It's a beautiful piece of art, man. I've always loved Fegredo's stuff.
Him, Guy, and Corbin too. Yeah, definitely. Guy Davis. I mean, Richard Corbin. Yeah, definitely. All great artists.
All right. Now we got a Ryan Sook Legion of Superheroes page.
He spots blacks wonderfully, doesn't he? And I mean, obviously, I look at this and I think, now this is a Legion page, I guess, and I think Kevin Nolan, he doesn't draw like Kevin Nolan because how Kevin Nolan draws his figures is always very specific, but how he spots blacks and then pulls these hatch marks out, it's very reminiscent of Kevin Nolan. He's just spotting blacks beautifully. The onomatopoeia there and the foam, that's so cool. And the storytelling, the lightning coming from behind, really cool page. And you know, I love the comic art. I don't know anything about this, but I know exactly what's going on.
Exactly. And yeah, that's funny. I was just looking at some of the pieces that I had from Kevin's sale that didn't sell, right? And you're absolutely right. I mean, I see a lot of Kevin Nolan in his stuff. I mean, and somewhat in the style. I mean, and I only mean the style in the way he inks, like, you know, these kind of tick marks around a heavy spot.
He draws how he draws. He draws like Ryan Sook, but inks a little bit like Kevin Nolan.
Yeah. That's slick. That's I mean, that's a great compliment. I mean, I don't know if I'm sure he's had to have thought it in some way, but yeah, that's gorgeous.
Oh,
gorgeous.
Wade Von Graubadger inked it, actually, is what it looks like.
Oh, really?
So he inked it like Kevin Nolan.
This one's Ryan Sook all here, but
yeah, it's signed by Wade Von Graubadger. I know that signature because I have some of those pages that he inked over
up here.
Yeah,
well, you're right.
Yeah, he inked over Eminem, and he inks the same way over Eminem. So
Okay. Well, then that explains it a bit.
yeah, cool.
All right. Well, this was in Kazra's Calf Gallery. This
Look
is
at this one.
I know.
Look at this giant sewing machine on its side.
I know.
Yeah, he's trying to pull one over on us. It could be Warlock also. But you know what I love about this page is that it's an artifact. It's this giant artifact. There's pictures of it, I think, on there or something like that, or maybe it was in the artist edition or something. But it's this beautiful artifact. And if somebody made this now, like the guy that did the Rod Rice, I think it's the guy's name that's doing New Mutants or did New Mutants, and it kind of has a Sienkiewicz / Phil Noto style, and even Phil Noto for that matter. When they do pages like this, everything's done digitally now, and maybe that's it's just kind of how they draw. But all of this was just painted on a big ass board, and especially at the time, who knows? I mean, that might. Sienkiewicz may have used some ketchup on there. He may have used some like on something. He may have put a piece of wallpaper on something. I mean, who knows? He's drawing from his balls. Like it's just really, really great stuff. And I really love this page. And it's I mean, it could be from an industrial catalog from 1968 as well, except somebody's getting tortured.
Yeah, no, it's very. I agree. I mean, every time I came back to this piece a couple times because I follow Kazra's Calf, and it's just just beautiful. I mean, and in its own weird way. I don't know, but yeah, a great piece of art, and
yeah,
I bet you Kazra's probably had this one a while, so it just shows you Kazra has a good eye for eclectic pieces like this one. He's not just a MODOK collector.
It's great. And it's got, even the little guy in the corner there, the faces are sort of like, you've got the Sienkiewicz faces on there with the glasses. But then you've also, you got a little Bob Peak.
All that stuff. I was trying to think what the name of that artist is that I always think of when I think of Sienkiewicz's Peak.
Yeah,
and this looks like this could be a sci-fi futuristic Bob Peak painting.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, with the way he's handling color and the style of that upright sewing machine. I mean, but yeah, gorgeous stuff. Absolutely.
He and Chaikin at that time, and Chaikin before him actually were doing they were bringing some of that illustrative style, your Bob Peak, who's the other guy, it would bring that into comics art, and we're doing a lot of that style in comics. Peak Sienkiewicz, yes.
All right, well, a good pick from Mr. Snork on that one. This one, this is in Matt E's Calf Gallery. Matt E has a very eclectic collection as well as some of the most cool artwork on Calf, I think. But this one is from an artist named Dabs.
It's Dabs and Mila. I had to look them up because I wasn't familiar with them. And just looking at it initially, I wanted to kind of come into it cold and see what I thought about it. And I was like, it's like the kind of street / fine art movement is what it made me think of. And it made me think of like Juxtapose magazine from the late 90s, early 2000s. I don't know if that magazine's still around, Giant Robot, that sort of thing, where they kind of like, you would have this really street sensibilities, but like they would go into these fine art galleries. And so then I looked them up just a few minutes ago, and they have this like sort of, it's a husband and wife duo. And they have this kind of Frank Kozik, Wayne White, Gary Panter sort of, urban art. It's pretty cool. I don't know if they I don't know, do these people like comic art? I always wonder, because they always seem to they bring it into the galleries, and kind of like what's the guy that did the George Tuska paintings and the pop art guy, and it's kind of like that. It's not exactly like that, but there's some feeling for me of that. It always kind of, I don't know, the street art comics were always a part of street art. At the same time, it's I don't know, but it's good painting. It's really good.
Yeah. Oh, you Lichtenstein. Or
Yeah,
Stein.
Roy
Yeah.
Lichtenstein. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. To me, I look at it. Do they like comic art? I don't know. They definitely like animation art, right? Because you
Sure.
can see a lot of
Or
influences.
illustration art from
Illustration art.
from
Right.
the like kids books and
Mhm.
whatnot. Yeah.
No, but the thing is, as we know, I love seeing illustration art on CAF. I think it should be shown here. I mean, if you collect it,
Yeah.
we should be exposed to it one way or another. I mean, I mean, if this was a piece of Ren and Stimpy art, we'd be loving it, right? We'd be
Yeah.
saying, oh yeah, we should definitely be talking about it. That's just because we don't know these artists. It's just harder to talk about. But I'm sure Chris was trying to put himself on the spot here, not you, Chuck.
Well, I just wonder, like, would they laugh us out of the gallery? I don't know. I just think about some of these other comic artists, and if they did this sort of thing, and then they'd be like, "Oh, I'm bringing all these pieces in," and they're like, "Oh yeah, that's not cool enough," and they're like, "I really drew comics," so I always wondered about that. But maybe they all love comic book arts and artists.
Actually, yeah, Rick says there's a Roy Lichtenstein stamp set at the post office now. Are you
There you
serious?
go.
Well, I don't go to the post office too often these days, but that's interesting. But congrats to Matt E. I think Matt
Yeah,
posted
it's a cool piece. I mean, it's a good painting, and like I said, I like artists like that. I wonder if they like us.
One day maybe we'll get to ask them that question. Now this is in. Let me see. It's Stephen Feldman's CAF, and Stephen's been a member on the site for 10 years. This is a piece by John Ridgway and Alfredo Alcala. What is it from? Oh, Hellblazer 8.
Yeah, I didn't know I know Alfredo Alcala, and I would probably say that this is as much Alfredo Alcala as it is who's the penciler. See, I can't even remember now, but his inking is so distinct, and it's just beautiful line work. I don't know. I didn't read Hellblazer, so I'm not as familiar with the book, but it's beautiful, beautiful ink work.
Well, that's I never read Hellblazer either. I hate to say it. Saw the movie. But at any rate, yeah, no, good stuff. Ridgway's not somebody who I think we've mentioned too often.
Yeah, British artist,
yeah.
Ridgway. Okay.
Yeah, I can't think of any pieces that we've ever probably brought up by him.
Yeah, you kind of got like that Frank Booth. I mean, look at the inking back there; it's beautiful. Frank Booth and Wrightson or whatever.
Exactly. Well, panel.
Nice line work.
Yeah, that's cool. So Stephen Feldman, congrats on that one. His name is
Cool
Mr. Feldman over on eBay. I saw.
Okay.
Next up, Tony Harris.
We're talking about Tony Harris again. That's what I thought. Like when I saw this, I was like, yeah.
But a convention sketch. We don't pick con sketches too often. Assuming this is a convention sketch.
Yeah.
But in a sketchbook, even better. I mean, yeah, that's true. You can see the shadow on the edge, I guess there.
In the JSA sketchbook, whoever.
This is in Peter Rowe. Peter,
Oh,
congrats,
Peter Rowe.
my friend. Yeah, well, now I know why you have this character. I mean, because of course he's a big Golden Age art fan in many ways. So, Tony Harris, tell me about this one.
How cool is this, though? I mean, I always go back to Gaijin Studios whenever I see Tony Harris, Adam Hughes, Brian Stelfreeze, Cully Hamner, Jason Pearson, all of them. They all, when you see their art, they all learn something from each other. Where Tony left out that little bit of the end of the gun there, probably that's some like, oh, if we just draw this much of the tip and we leave this other little part out, it'll represent a top lighting or whatever it is. And they were all learning tricks from each other, and it just shows that in person, that time and learning how learning this craft of all of these guys, because maybe Tony, they all had some proclivity for art, obviously, but they were all influencing one another. I would imagine this time. I bet they all say it, because look at the Copic marker stuff. Like Copic markers blew up because Adam Hughes was doing these Copic markers things, but they all do them, and they all do them beautifully. Dave Johnson's another one. Like, I mean, you just see it. Even though this is distinctively Tony Harris, it comes out of that Gaijin Studios. And I think historically, from comics and from layout and design, just as important as Homage Studios or Extreme Studios was at the time, really Gaijin Studios was probably just as big an influence on artists. I mean, look at Ryan Sook. Ryan, this is kind of like, you see it right there. So
yeah, I agree. I mean, Joe Phillips as well hung out.
Joe Phillips, yes. Shit,
yeah,
sorry, Joe.
Yeah, he hung out there quite a bit, and you're absolutely right. And we don't have these things, we don't have studios like this today where the artists can kind of hang out, learn from each other, push each other to do better. Yeah, but I've
they're
always
probably out there, but I think that like the Raid Studio, I think is one that's in. I think that one's in Canada. Am I right? But then there's something in Portland, and I'm sure that that there's young people that are making comics right now that are doing this for one another, and they're doing some amazing stuff that's all manga based, and that we old timers won't understand a single bit, but at the same time they're doing the same thing for one another. Hopefully, and this is a very nice piece. And Tony Harris draws these like chunky people, which I like.
Yeah, well, and Tony's got a great design sense. I mean, as in a graphic design, his compositions are fantastic, and it's a great piece.
And it's a very much a con sketch, isn't it? So you look at it and you're like, oh, it's a con sketch, like like you used, not commission.
Congrats to Peter on
Hopefully, it didn't cost $3,000 to $6,000. Look at that curvilinear perspective.
Boy, you're loving that word, aren't you? This is an Adam Kubert cover. I think it was Wolvie Fans Calf Gallery.
Holy shit, that's awesome.
Yeah, see, I can't even look at it like that because it's too close. It's such a great scan. But yeah, look at that thing.
That's a beauty. I don't even know what you can say about it that it doesn't say by just sitting there. Like, it is fantastic. This is what Spider-Man and Wolverine 1 or something, the cover to that, right?
Yeah, wraparound cover. And Wolvie Fan says he's going to be bringing this one to OAX.
Ooh, I can't wait to see it. So look at that. I mean, boy, talk about also somebody that learned in a pretty impressive studio setting, Adam Kubert. I bet he would say the same thing. I learned by, not only doing, but working around and with other people. And, Adam Kubert is beyond compare. That's great. That combines like classic, great anatomy and dynamic Marvel Comics style storytelling, cool characters, really good rendering.
Yeah, I love the cityscape all around it too.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. And you're right. I mean, Adam started out as a letterer, right?
Yeah.
When he was in his teens,
early
teens.
Yeah.
So you get surrounded by great creators. You probably have the a higher percentage possibility of turning into a great creator yourself.
Mm-hmm. And how and it's coming at you. It's this is great.
Well, congrats,
Spider-Man. And I like the little folds that he's drawn in Spider-Man there, and he's inking it himself. He's doing it all. I wonder what he'd do, like I don't know. You always wonder, like, what else. He does great on superheroes. I wonder what else he could do. There was a book he did called Crash, which I always thought was really cool. So I wonder what else. Love to see a, crime novel or, something like that. Some sort of indie thing from him.
Well, you never know. You can ask him that at OAX.
Yeah, I'll ask him. Hey, Adam, you're great. Do something else.
Stop drawing Wolverine.
I no more. Too much, unsolicited advice. He'll do whatever the hell he wants to do.
Yes, he will.
Look at that one.
Yep. And
that's kind of an interesting.
Tyler,
our buddy Tyler.
Exactly.
Buddy Tyler. He's got the best, doesn't he?
He does, and he's got.
What did comics do to poor Matthew Allison? I got Matthew Allison. He's doing me a All-Star Superman. I can't wait to see it.
Mm-hmm.
But boy, this is lift it up, show the rest of it's because you can't, because it's just half a man. This is what comics have done to Matthew Allison. Ripped him apart. Look at that big chunky arm and like the pustules and the just beautiful. But yeah, that's what Batman did to Matt Allison, I would say. I don't know how to interpret it. But it's great line work, isn't it? It kind of reminds me of Bill Stout, kind of, and of course.
I got on. I gave everybody a couple days on the Matt Allison pre-con opportunity through OAX, and there was still an opening, so I took one of them.
Just
saying.
What are you getting?
I'm not going to tell you.
Okay.
You'll get to see it at OAN.
Cyclops, we know.
I'm not saying a word. But yeah, I've always loved Matt's stuff from the moment I first saw it.
But it's cool. It's the bat symbol, right? Like on a
Mhm.
shirt or something.
Exactly.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So congrats, Tyler T. Another winning.
There's something so kind of disgusting about it, though, right?
Yes, there is.
I thought this was kind of interesting, right?
Yep. I like Brad Walker's. I like Brad's stuff. He's a very he puts a lot of detail in all of his pieces, no matter what character or series he's drawing. Yeah, I've always thought his stuff is nice. This is in Asian Funk Comics. What do we got here? Calf Gallery, and what is his note? Oh, Hennessy Inks. That's right. So here we go.
Yeah, so I don't know Brad Walker as well, but I was kind of impressed with the leather work on here and like the kind of shine, and of course, it's sort of is a bit reminiscent also of Joe Quesada, I thought.
Sure.
But the other thing that I thought was interesting about this piece was the storytelling in it, and how this piece must be from in the last 10 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
How different, compared to the other pages that we've seen, like there's no panel borders. Everything has kind of gone towards a manga influence. And so you have like the storytelling, it's still the inverted Z, right? So you've got, here down, right? But at the same time, there's no panel borders. There's no, framing element. There's nothing. It passes time like manga passes time. And then using the action lines as the panel borders or the fire and chains or whatever. So it's interesting. It's an interesting, it made me feel a little bit old just to kind of think about it in that way, because it's not exactly the kind of comic storytelling but I think that more often than not in more modern comics, especially modern corporate comics, this is the type of style that you'll see in there.
Sure.
It's good. Yeah.
No, I like it. I've because I know he doesn't rep anymore, but Mark K used to rep Brad's stuff, so I've seen a lot of his stuff early on. And I liked his early stuff too, because he just puts a lot of work into his pages, and so nice piece here. And I liked it for the same reason. No panel borders, nothing like that, and makes this a pretty fun page.
Mm-hmm.
Now, one last piece here. This is Xenozoic Omelets by Mark Schultz. Mark Schultz he can do no wrong, right? This is just he's like a guy who could have been drawn in the 50s, right? Drawn Doc Savage or something like that, but he's done his own stories. But he is just such a great illustrator.
I love the atmospheric perspective that he gets with just the pencil, and then he's spotting blacks also with just pencil, and then you've got his meaty dinosaurs that are in there, like they're so, I don't know what to call them, but meaty. And then it's Xenozoic Tales, which I remember that book would come out. It would come out occasionally. You'd get like 1 or 2 issues a year back in the 80s or 90s or whenever that was. And every one was beautiful. It was beautifully rendered. And he's a great artist, a great illustrator. And it's also funny to think that then they made this into a cartoon on Saturday mornings called Cadillacs and Dinosaurs, which was also funny.
It was pretty good. I saw most of them.
Did you? Okay, I may have seen one episode, I think. Yeah, but
lots of neck strains, as Marcus. I guess so. But no, I love Mark's stuff.
He's a great artist, isn't he? I don't know what else. Like, what more can you add? That this is a beautifully rendered illustration of a man with a gun, a woman in a bikini with a gun, with meaty dinosaurs attacking. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know how anybody could do that any better. So,
well, this is in Paper Chaser 1968's Calf Gallery, 18-year member Calf from the Netherlands. All right. Well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Well, thank you, Mr. Snork, for picking these, and thank you, Chuck, for giving us your reasons for why these are all great pieces of art.
They're not as good as what I would have picked, but
wink, wink, Mr. Snork. Hey, that's what happens when your
Chris
internet
Snork
goes
has
down.
much better taste and than I do.
Oh man! All right, I will rip through these as quickly as I can because now I'm starting to get a little tired. I walked around Epcot all day today.
I don't know how you're still awake, man.
Yeah. Well, well, it's this. If you've never tried one, Zevia. They well, it has no sugar. It does have caffeine. That is the one good thing about these things. Zevia. My favorite is the cherry cola.
Okay.
Blows all the other ones away.
I think this is going to be the official drink of OAX is Zevia. Like nobody else has had Zevia. I had no idea it even existed. But
I wouldn't have known. Maureen brought one. She brought like one case home. She's like, I want you to start drinking these if you're going to stop drinking Coke. And I tried it, and I didn't really like the cola ones, but cherry cola, yeah, it's good.
All right.
Powered by meth, says Marcus. Thank you. Well, there's a lot of that here in Florida, but I'm not the one taking it. I can tell you that. All right. So Ryan Sook. Yeah, I'd kind of picked my stuff separate from Chris this week. So I did not know he had a Ryan Sook until both our lists were merged today. But Comic Art Boston, we know Comic Art Boston has an affinity for the Western heroes. And I think this one was picked up. I thought I read in his notes. It was picked up over at San Diego, I'm sure, because Comic Art Boston was at the con. Honestly, the thing is, back to Sook, I just love Sook's style. And you figure as a con sketch, I mean, he did a lot of, if anybody was following Felix, you've seen a lot of stuff that Sook did over San Diego Comic-Con that he was dishing out as commissions. They were all really, really well done. I mean, made me want to get something from Ryan because I've never gotten anything from him. And I'm not usually a commission collector either, but I saw those pieces and I thought, man, Ryan is somebody that along with like Matt Allison, he's just somebody who I think I would trust to do a commission and I'd like it. And and seeing this, I liked it a lot. And again, I think it fits right into Comic Art Boston's niche genre that he's a fan of. And so there you go. Good old Ryan Sook gets in our list twice.
He's worth it. He's good.
Yep. And I picked this one next up. This is in Mickey's Cap Gallery. It's a Mike Mignola penciled Giordano inked Blue Beetle cover. And it's from the era, when I always think about Mignola, being more Marvel or a few, I just don't think I don't see too much DC work. All right. And so I just thought
Cosmic Odyssey.
Well, we think about that, but outside of Cosmic Odyssey, again, I thought this was kind of cool for just to find something from that period. Blue Beetle being out.
What year is this from?
This was 87.
Okay. Yeah. Boy, you see a little bit of classic Blue Beetle, Charlton, Steve Ditko Blue Beetle in that Blue Beetle.
I was thinking Ditko as well. I mean, I see a little Frank Miller thoughts in here. There's a lot of little different things going on. But again, I just thought it was neat because I just don't think if I were to look up DC covers by Mike on the site, I bet we're not going to see too many. Definitely, outside.
Well, he did a lot of stuff. I mean, he did a lot of DC stuff. He did Gotham by Gaslight, but he did some early stuff called World of Krypton that he did with John Byrne writing. When John Byrne was actually writing Superman, he was doing the World of Krypton, and he illustrated. I think John Byrne penciled and Mignola inked the covers, or maybe I have that backwards. But I mean, he goes that far back at DC. He did a Phantom Stranger miniseries.
Man, you just ruined this for me.
No, I'm sorry, Bill.
I wouldn't have picked it if I knew Mike did. I mean, I knew, of course, Gotham by Gaslight, and everything, but not. You're just killing it for me now.
No, he did some really great work. I mean, but he was finding himself. That's when Mignola was finding himself. He wasn't spotting he did some spotting blacks, but I mean, he was really. I mean, you see it in this cover right here.
Rich Daniels, he did the Phantom Stranger 4-parter for DC. All right, I give up.
Yeah, he did some great stuff for DC back then. But this is an unusual cover, and I'll tell you, Bill, I've never seen it. I collected Blue Beetle back then, and I've never seen this cover. So,
right,
on me, and I love it.
I just figured it was because I wasn't a DC guy that I had never seen it, but leave it to Mickey to pull out. He did, and he pulled it out during the Blue Beetle coming out in the movie theaters. I have not seen it. Probably won't, just because I'm not a DC guy. I'll wait till it comes out on HBO Max.
Yeah,
probably won't be long, right? There, it's like 4 weeks and a movie's out on TV anymore.
They need
I can
more
wait.
people to watch it, so yeah, I'm the same way.
Yep.
Although I'll go see stuff occasionally. You know, we had a good run like with Indiana Jones, and then what else came out?
Mission Impossible.
Mission Impossible.
Did anybody go to see? I didn't see either one of those. I hate to say.
Oh
it.
yeah, no, I liked both of them. I went to see Oppenheimer, which I thought was really good. Mindy and Abby went to see Barbie a couple of times. They really liked that. So, Alex Toth.
Yeah.
With that, somebody else thinking that's interesting, huh?
Yeah. So this is Steve Creazier using his premium membership to good advantage. Look, he's given us a great scan of an Alex Toth piece. What was it from? Oh, it's a Witching Hour page. I don't know. It's Toth, man. I mean, the storytelling's gorgeous. I mean, it wasn't inked by Alex, right? Who was it? Bill Drop. So, but again, just a beautiful page. The heavy on the blacks with these, cloaked figures. But I love it. I love the last panel. I mean, it's a I would love to own this page. I mean, just because I've never owned. Toth is one of those guys. I love his work, but I can't say that.
Got a skull on it, Bill. I don't think you can have it. And
that's right. Oh well, and it is kind of satanic, isn't it? Right?
Isn't it such an interesting? I mean, it sort of is reminiscent of Toth's work that he did for Hanna-Barbera. If you look at the Toth IDW, I think is who did those big Toth books, or the American Library of Comics, or something like that. Anyway, there's these great big Alex Toth books, and it has all of these yes.
The OAX opening ceremony.
Yeah, that's what we should write this in this young, and it's going to be Marcus though that we're going to be carrying like this, and it's going to be in this young man's offering. Shall you be reborn?
Yes,
his sacrifice shall be your signal to take your place in the world.
In this young man's
of our master.
Yes, his sacrifice, bidding our master, Comic Arts instead of Satan.
Right.
But the thing is, I mean,
hand Snorrick the knife. And then gut right. Marcus right down the middle. And all that comes out is Star Wars figures and art, little pictures of confetti and little pictures of Albert Moy.
And it's a Sharon page, as Marvel fans said. Yeah, I guess we could say Sharon's made her way into this one. But I just, again, I love the design of it. I mean, it just, it almost could be like a cover. Just the way I mean, look at it. Just, I mean, it's a masterful page.
Yeah.
If I start just looking at the negative space, it's so well designed. Yeah. Love it.
Yeah. And again, I mean, people might say that this is kind of like old comics, but it's really concise and interesting storytelling, and it's different than really this is the predecessor of this would be the EC Comics work, and this is completely different than what they were doing at EC. This probably to Alex Toth and the guys that were doing this were like, oh look, we can do these big panels and we can add all these blacks and do everything. I mean, this is great comics. Alex Toth, there's not a lot of stories that I've read the Bravo to Adventure I thought was kind of fun, but there's not a lot of stuff that I go, oh, I love how it looks. But like when I go back, it's not like I can go, oh, there's this one story by Alex Toth. I haven't gotten that from him yet, but or that I've found. But I have lots of his work in books, and I think it's always just beautiful.
Yeah, no, this is really nice, and he's not afraid to draw toes. Everybody, look at that.
Not afraid to draw Alex Toth with Toth. That's why Alex Toth.
Toes.
He wasn't afraid to draw anything. He'd draw it all, or he'd just black it out. Make it look cool.
Well, congrats to Steve for picking this one up. I mean, it is a very, very nice page.
Yeah, 1970. Cool.
All right, and then I had to give Dan Paddock, a nod here. I mean, he's got. I know he picked up 2 of these Simonson, Wyachek, Thor pages, but I mean, they're rarer than rare, right? I mean, so just seeing it. I mean, if I was him, I'd be thrilled to freaking death to have a page like this in my collection. I mean. Would I give up anything for it? Probably not. But I'd love to.
You wouldn't trade. Okay, so you wouldn't trade your.
I'd trade my Kirby. I'd trade my Kirby.
Would you trade your Cockrum page for this Thor page?
No.
You
I
would?
might trade because I like the published interior, the end of 150. I consider that Bizarre Adventures piece with the Nightcrawler and Jean, those kind of recreation of his character design sheets, maybe. But I actually think but I bet you that page is probably worth more than this. But would I think about it? Yeah, but I would give up that Bizarre Adventures page probably sooner than I would give up the 150 page.
The 150 page. Yeah, that's pretty new too. But look at it. I mean, isn't it cool? Again, we've been talking kind of the theme, talking about these studios and how Chaykin and Miller and Simonson were all in a studio together. And you can see in that second panel, like, I mean, they were all learning from each other. I mean, Miller ripped them both off. Miller ripped off Chaykin and Simonson, because that's pure Simonson, but it also could be Frank Miller there in that middle panel. And I mean, ripped off is he probably said, "Oh, that's cool. I'm going to steal that," because I do that all the time at my job. And so if I see something cool somebody does in a commercial or something, I'm like, I'm going to figure out how they did it, and then I do it in my commercials. So like, and people do it all the time. And, that ink line also, even though that's Wyacek, it's also, this is unmistakably a Walt Simonson page.
Right.
He was just inking probably how he was trying to ink like Walt inks. And it's gorgeous. I love this stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Well,
I'm trying to figure. I don't think I have anything I could trade for this. I don't know. What are these pages for? 20,000, 15, less than that, 10.
It was a Heritage auction. I think
it was a Heritage. I'll just look it up.
I think so. I don't remember what they went through. I think one went for 18 and the other one for 15. I could be wrong. But again, either way,
that's a real price. That's a real price, Bill. That's not $50,000 for a thing. Frank Miller,
right? Because any dealer, if they were interested in picking these up, wouldn't have gone that high. So these if a dealer were bidding on these pages, they would not have gone that high.
No.
And this is definitely two collectors setting a fair market price for what these pages should have went for. So and that's cool to see. Because again, a dealer's looking for a deal at the end of the day. They're not trying to buy things at what a market price is. So they're not going to chase a piece that they don't know what the market should be on it.
Yeah.
But Bob Wyacek, he's worked with a lot of great pencilers. Yeah. So and I'm going too slow here.
You did.
But here, Frank Miller. I backed that up with a Frank Miller piece.
Hell yeah.
That wasn't by design, but Sin City Hard Goodbye trade paperback from '93. So we got a 30-year-old piece here. I just love the graphic quality of the page, man. I mean, the lighting is just fantastic. I mean, is it Miller cutting corners to do things maybe quicker or looser or whatever? But for whatever reason, it just works. I mean, the outline of the brick walls here.
Sin City was when Miller found his truth. This is how Frank Miller wants to draw. Mm-hmm. This is, I mean, it really is. Like, you can, I mean, Ronin is cool and beautiful, and Dark Knight is he and Claus, doing something, making something bigger than the sum is greater than the parts. But this Sin City was pure Frank Miller. It's just gorgeous. I mean, all the bricks, every brick that's in there is illustrated, and like what he's doing there. And I think he really found a style he was happy and comfortable with when he started doing Sin City. Did he do the lettering on this as well?
I don't know. I mean, I didn't think so, but you never know. But I mean, he certainly knew where he wanted the copy to be, and that's all smart too, right? I mean, I help the Suns up. Now I got to find a place to sack out, and and the thing is, it's wonderful, right? I mean, these could have been done as thought bubbles, but they weren't. They're done in the way Frank wants to tell his story. Mm-hmm. He separates the second from the third thought bubble, so it gives you just enough time to pause before you read the other one. I mean, that's smart. I mean, you could read it like it was a film, and you're hearing him say it.
Miller's a real artist. He's a real artist. Yeah, I really, some things I've liked a lot, and some things I haven't. But I mean, he never holds back. I mean, he's gone back to the well with Dark Knight a few times. But I mean, I guess something's got to pay for a New York apartment or whatever he has to pay for.
Yeah, it's probably got a really nice studio.
Yeah, whatever. But this stuff, I mean, I wish he'd just do this over and over. I mean, not over and over again, but like revisit this world because he seems to really love it.
Mm-hmm. Well, congrats to Rod G, 7-year CAF member for that pickup. I don't think it's funny. It's like sometimes you see a name and it's like, have I ever been in this guy's CAF gallery before?
Let's look. What's he got? What you got, Rod?
Yeah, I was gonna say I was
nothing. You had to sell it all to get that page.
Dringenberg, David Finch.
Yeah, he likes ink.
Holy mackerel! Look at that. He's got a lot in there. Well, it's funny. Look, all the number of artists, and then if we were to add up his art by type, there's like 100, maybe like 160. It's like he must have a unique artist for every piece. I saw Kelly Jones in there, Marcus. But yeah, I'm gonna check it out later. Just to see. Well, you know, a good way to do it is you always go like, let's take a look at the pieces with the most comments. Well, there you go. That deservedly so. Sandman page, Capullo cover. Yeah, he's got good taste.
Yeah, but look, it's like all inks, like heavy inks.
Yeah,
like the big spotted blocks.
He got that cult page by Wrightson. Wow, yeah, he's got some good stuff.
Yeah, come hang out with us, dude. We like to talk about art. He likes art.
Exactly. Oh man, yeah, he's got some great. And it's funny. So it's so often you see their art and then you don't associate it with the collector's name. But I mean, obviously, I've seen a lot of this art on CAF. So cool. Well, thank you, Rod, for sharing. That's great collection there. So Bergara here, Step by Bloody Step. It says cover recreation of the French edition. Let me put my like on there. I just like that. I just like the style on here. It's so, to me, it's kind of a very minimalist approach with the ink work of the paint on here. I mean, not a lot of details, but it's such a powerful piece. It's striking. I love the lighting. You know, I mean, I just really enjoyed the piece as an overall work of art. At the end of the day, the flat, orange moon, sun. I don't know what the heck it is, but either way. Nice piece. I mean, it made me. I liked it so much. I made it the graphic for the show.
It's beautiful, and I mean, it kind of has that the kid sort of is Wrightson-esque, but then also has manga influence with like the giant, hand or robot, or maybe that's a person in armor or something. It's really beautiful, good illustration. Comics does not lack for illustrators these days. They just get better and better, don't they?
They certainly do. Yeah, I mean,
is he from Italy? Is that I don't know.
I am not familiar. That's where Snork would step in.
Matthias Bergara. Okay.
French edition, blah blah. No. Yeah, but either way, great piece.
Okay, so maybe he. No, I don't know. Anyway, I'll check it out. I like this artist.
Yep, me too. But yes, Comic Art Boston, the two cab kid. Yes, all right. Let's see here. Zuli Sandman page. I mean, I've always loved Zuli stuff. Yeah. So, and it's funny. You look at this; it's almost reminiscent of the Fregredo. With
it is, isn't it?
And I didn't even think about that. But I mean, honestly, I mean, I can see that that chiseled-y feel. But he's doing it all, all in pencil. I mean, it's a gorgeous piece of art. And
it's technique, and they're bringing their own style to it. So he draws how he draws. Maybe he liked John Byrne when he was a kid, and Fregredo liked Frank Frazetta or something. And so you kind of bring those things with you to however you're deciding to illustrate. So, I think Michael Zuli's a terrific illustrator. And all this stuff back here, I'm pointing at the screen like you can see me. All this stuff back here behind the lady and some of that technique that looks like a lot of that Bob Peak, that illustrator stuff that we were talking about earlier. Illustrator techniques from like the 1960s and 70s, that you'd see, where they would do it on tracing paper and, like when they would do, when you would see a mock-up of a, cigarette ad or something.
Yeah, this is really nice. I've always liked Zuli's stuff, but again, he's somebody whose work I've never picked up personally. But it's funny. There's a lot of artists like that, right? You just love their work, but nothing really like jumps out that says you buy this one. But Zuli's stuff has always been cool. I like his color work too. But this pencil, only piece is really nice.
Yeah, this is great. And this is from Sandman, is that right?
Yeah, it was Sandman's, what was it, 75, 73?
73.
4. And it was in
Ren Fair.
Ben H's Calf Gallery, longtime calf member, 16 years. All right.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. Ren Fair. Then I teased this one a minute ago, Steve Lipsky. I was thinking, who doesn't, right? And not many of us can afford a Watchmen page, right?
Yeah.
So in my mind, the last 6 months, I'm like, I gotta find me a good Dave Gibbons like Watchmen commission. And the ones that he was doing around the time the movie came out were all pretty nice, right? Because you don't see anything new. So I think if we're gonna get a Dave Gibbons Watchmen commission, whether it's a single figure or 4 figures like this, I mean, you're probably going to have to do it soon, because I bet we're going to see that the prices on these things are going to get kind of out of reach too. Not that I know anything about how much this thing costs, but
call Joe. Get Joe on the line.
Exactly. Well, I don't think. I could talk to Joe about it, but the point being, is that there just aren't a lot of these out there, and we know. I mean, I'm never going to be able to afford a Watchmen page at the rate they're going. I mean, you can't touch one under $30,000 anymore. And
I don't know. The bubble just burst on this show tonight, so maybe these speculators are just going to start dumping their product tomorrow.
I could only wish, but I would. This is something I would love to own. Who knows what it would go for? But I think that. But finished nice pieces like these are going to be harder and harder to come by.
Yeah.
So when I saw this, I just I'm on a personal search to find one and get lucky and get one day. I just think it's cool. Steve's got one. So, congrats to him.
So who is this? Whose gallery is this in?
This is in Steve Lipsky's calf gallery.
Steve Lipsky. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a cool one.
Long-time calf member, 15 years.
And so, wait, he's had for a while and never posted. Okay.
Is that what it was? As it happens this month, 10 years since he collected. Okay, so he's had it for 10 years and decided to show it now.
And he got it from Dave Gibbons at Florida SuperCon 10 years ago.
Unbelievable.
Cool.
Well, Dave won't even go to shows now. I mean, I think that's kind of where he's at least in the U.S., because I didn't ask Joe, but somebody else told me that, a reputable person. And I was like, well,
he just came out with a book that's kind of like Dave Gibbons A to Z. I haven't picked it up yet. I did get Brian Boland's, which is like this photo montage. It's called It's About Time. It's this Brian Boland book. Have you seen this?
No, I have not seen that at all.
Yeah, and he does like.
When did that come out?
Oh, it wasn't too long ago. What is this? And this was the signed limited edition, so it's got a nice Boland plate there that he did. But it's all about his life, and he kind of tells his life stories through photos he's taken, and does kind of like some collages and illustrations in here. Anyway,
it's taken a lot of time.
It took. It's about time. So kind of interesting stuff.
Well,
but I haven't picked up at the same time. Dave Gibbons came out, and I haven't picked that one up yet, and I keep meaning to, because he has an A to Z of like kind of his life story. I always liked Dave Gibbons' work. I didn't as much when I was a kid. It took me a while to appreciate it, comparatively to some of the more exciting artists for a 13-year-old kid, Arthur Adams or whatever. But I've really come to appreciate his work, and I love. He did a book called The Originals, which I liked a lot. I mean, of course, Watchmen is incredibly readable, and you can return to it, but The Originals is worth checking out as well. And he did that Martha Washington stuff, which I thought was great. Yeah. And didn't he write World's Finest for Steve Rude, I think, which was good?
Did he?
Mm-hmm. Did some writing that he didn't draw. So good pick, Bill.
If anybody ever has one of these,
let's find you one. We'll find it for you.
Talk to me.
Yeah. Just here's what I do. I dig when I get inspired by something. I dig around on CAF, and then I send people a message. And I'm
I never do that though. I never do that.
Just dig around. Something will knock loose. I told you I got a cheap All-Star Superman page that way one Saturday morning. Yeah, that was a great issue for The Man Who Has Everything. That's probably one of the best
I've even
Superman
read
issues
that one.
ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know that one?
Oh
That's a
yeah.
good one.
Love
Um,
it. Gosh. Yeah.
you just
But I
gotta
do love
dig
to.
around, man. You gotta
All
dig
right. Well,
around.
maybe I'll have to shoot a few. Like, hey, if
Yeah.
you're ever thinking of selling this,
Yeah.
I might be your guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see here. I got 2 more to go. Dan Mora.
Dan Mora.
This
That
is
guy, he's a good artist, isn't he?
Yes, he is. And when collected by another artist, it's always I think high praise, right? So this is in Phil Hester's Calf Gallery.
Phil Hester. Yeah.
Phil's
He's a big
got an
collector,
eye.
isn't he?
Yeah. I mean, I love the detail. I mean, it's like he puts more more, well, I can't say, as I say, puts more detail in the background. No, look at it. I mean, the way he's rendered Batman here is just incredible.
Yeah.
Everything about it, I was just drawn to this piece. I love
very architectural, right?
Yeah.
Sort of Sean Gordon Murphy.
But Sean's a little more sketchy, right? I mean, I feel like in this piece, Dan's like he knows exactly what he wants. He draws. Everything's pretty much. There's just nothing left to your imagination on there with Dan's stuff.
Boot down there on his left leg on that boot, and where he left the big white spot and the reflections. Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really something else.
So we'll see. Phil says, I don't know how he did it, but Mora has synthesized the disparate styles of Jim Lee, Bruce Timm, and Greg Capullo, chromed it in the sheen of manga, then delivered it with the deft immediacy of a Daniel Warren Johnson. A wonder. Future State Dark Detective #1.
Too bad too bad all that talent is wasted on whatever that book is.
Right. Come on. Get him over on some Marvel titles.
Anyway. Get him on something like, I don't know, whatever. Dark Detective, Future State. What is that?
I have absolutely no idea. Absolutely no idea. But
no offense if whoever wrote it or is I mean, corporate comics are what they are, but
Oh, and
this guy's
funny. Rich has said a nod to Quesada's signature. Now that I see it, hard to unsee it, I guess, right? But quite possibly. But anyways, so that's kind of cool. I mean, I didn't read the description. That would have been neat. I should have have Phil Hester on here. We have him talk about some of his art. I got to get Phil on here. It's been too long. We had him on a Comic Art Live, like the first one or maybe the second one, but I got to get him back on the show. Just to not even talk about his art, his own artwork. Let's have him pick 18 pieces with great stories out of his.
I bet there are so many people. You probably have no idea how many people watch these things and are like, oh yeah, they've probably seen all of every Comic Art Live while they're sitting in their studio drawing or something. Look at that. Go back up. What was that? He had that Mobius Punisher. That's something.
Did I miss it? Oh, up there. Oh, shoot. Yeah. Yeah, that's not too bad. He had a Mignola Batman too.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
Different than the one. It's weird, isn't it? This is a drawing which is different than the one that was in that he did. There was a poster. Mobius did a set of posters for Marvel. Oh, it's a study.
There you go. Study for the Immortal Punisher poster.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Yeah. Well, yeah. I made a note. I think I've written Phil Hester's name down like 5 or 6 times in the last year and a half.
Yeah.
I've just got to reach out to him. And
he's got a fantastic collection.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, look, he's got a Wrights and Swamp Thing and a nice Burn Uncanny page. Joe Shuster Superman strip. Dave McKean Hellblazer page. Frank Miller Daredevil. Kirby Miller, whatever. I don't even know what it is. War Stories. Mazzucchelli Daredevil. He's got everything. Yeah. And a Harriman Crazy Cat. For God's sakes. You look at this and it's like there's not one other collector on CAF that could say they have all the same things: a Mobius Punisher, a Mignola Batman, and a Wally Wood Outer Space Spirit. I mean, that's probably like as classic Wally Wood as you could ever want to get.
Amazing. These guys and Jimmy's another one that they have these collections because they've gone to they're collectors. They're collectors. Nick's the same way. I mean, Nick is younger than these guys, so he doesn't have some of this older stuff. But if you're a collector, you go to all these shows and you're like, well, what can I get while I'm here? And then Phil probably did a couple of drawings of Green Arrow or something like that or whatever, and sold some art at the show, and then was like, okay, I'm going to go get that Wally Wood page over there. That's what I want. You know?
Yeah, I know. Well, that's why we got to get Phil back on. I mean, I want to hear about it. I mean,
yeah, that's great. That's really great.
Yeah, this is. So, all right, one more piece to go, and I can't even remember what I picked. Oh, it's a Ditko page. Machine Man 15. I just love the storytelling in this thing. Because I didn't read Machine Man when it came out. I can't even say I read this issue. But I love the cutaway here. This is like something you would get in a 1940s, like a 1950s, strip art or cartoon comic
or a
book,
Wes
whatever.
Anderson movie.
Right. I mean, right. Exactly. I mean, look at that. He's punching through a wall with one hand. He's going down here through, through the basement with the other. And he's drawn it like this. I mean, it's, as a cutaway. How fun is that? I mean,
I love it.
From the mind of Steve Ditko. I'm just late in talking about him. This is just awesome art. I mean, I don't. It doesn't even matter what the story is about. When that second panel is what kind of sold it for me. But I love it. Then he ends up going down there and confronting whatever the hell that is. I don't care. Is it all Steve Ditko? Did it round to the top of? So you got that in Comic
from Comic Connect, the Falco's pages. You wonder about some of these guys like Ditko, and just because I've been looking at so much John Buscema art lately, and you wonder because John Buscema, like in his later years, and even occasionally on some comics work, you could see it when he put time and effort into it. What kind of amazing artwork he can do. And then lately, like you showed that thing by Matthias Bagara or even like looking at Wally Wood stuff, you wonder what Ditko, because even though this is a wonderfully laid out page, it's not that wonderfully illustrated. It's kind of a little bit wonky and off. And he probably did it in half a day, knocked a couple out in a day or whatever. And so you just kind of wonder, give this guy, what would Ditko do now? You just wonder, because he was such an innovative storyteller and such an interesting artist that if you could give him, more time to spend on this stuff, at his peak, what it would have ended up looking like. It kind of, to me, I would say may have ended up looking like some Frank Miller work or something. I don't know.
Yeah. No.
You never know. This is this is a neat one though.
It is. I wouldn't mind owning it because I've been trying. Did I set up? Maybe I set something aside over at Berkey's that was a Ditko, but I can't remember what it was. Might have been like an Indiana Jones page, just because I was like, well, I can afford this. But a Machine Man page wouldn't be too bad. This is a nice pickup, and
and then you could just draw Spider-Man faces on all of them and be like, okay.
So this is Joe Murray's CAF gallery as well. Joe, and again, a 17-year member on CAF.
Oh, cool.
So good stuff there. All right, well, we did it, and it was a long show tonight, guys. No, it's not your fault. It's my fault. I would never have thought we would have gone this long, but I am about as dead tired as I have ever been. I think I'm going to probably sleep about 10 hours. I think tonight.
Lucky you. I got to get up and get the kid ready for school in a few hours.
Well, and trust me though, I have been thinking about taking you up on the offer for After Effects. I think maybe after I get through the summer, maybe we can do like an hour.
Man.
I think an hour session might set me on the right path to getting things done.
I could even just show you a couple of I don't know. Have you ever watched it? I guess you've tried to watch some tutorials or stuff.
I have. They just don't work for me. Okay. I think I need to have somebody else walk me through it.
Yeah.
So
well,
listen, everybody, we both appreciate you guys hanging out with us for so long.
Yeah, Are there still people watching this? Are you kidding me?
There's still 51 people watching.
What? What are they doing? Don't they need to go to bed?
Anybody on the East Coast has already gone to sleep. But yes, everybody else is on the West Coast. Maybe they're waking up in Asia. Who knows? Anyway, yes, it is late night. But we thank you for being here. We will. I've got tomorrow night off. I've got Howard Chaykin on Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern. I hope people tune into that. Howard, he's actually got two projects that a lot of people probably haven't heard about that I don't think I've seen him talk about. And so those are the things I was going to bring up. Hopefully he won't be like, I can't talk about it until they happen, Bill. But
he's going to talk for 2 hours. I could probably tell you about half the stuff he's going to say.
All right. Well, that's why I'm going to keep
But
you out of
I will watch, and I will. Although I got to move my mom on Saturday, or help her
Oh, man.
move.
Well,
I don't know, or
you'll,
move some stuff around in her
you'll have
house.
to
I don't know.
listen into it. But
Yeah, he's got some cool art though, right?
yeah, got it. Well, I mean, it's all females this time, all pinup kind
Right.
of stuff. He had like a nice Mystique,
Yeah.
and one he didn't send me this one. This was like a classic Black Widow.
Did he?
Which I
Oh,
kinda
that's
like.
neat. Did
I
he
do
not
like
do
it.
any cover recreations or anything like that this
Not
time?
this time. No. Well, no, and I think it's because of these two projects that he's got going on, and this is because like this is the smallest amount of stuff he's ever sent me, and that's part of why I figure we got to be able to talk about what he has going on because he's doing
Mhm.
something. He's doing an in-person thing in California, and he has a crowdfunding project that's coming up.
Yeah,
And
which is unusual for him. He's got that's on his webpage though. The crowdfunding. It's not out yet, but he's doing it.
I think it's going through Zoop or something, but
Yeah.
but yeah, this other thing he's doing with Mark Wade.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this educational thing. So
Well,
I
they
thought
did one of those online during the pandemic. He and Mark Wade. It was like $100 or something like that.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think it did as well as they thought. So they're actually doing it at some university, I think, in California. So I'd like to think they can talk about it. They must want to PR it. You know, I mean, they need to get people in the seats because it's going to be all in person.
Yeah.
But any Tigra in that set? No, there wasn't any Tigra. There was Poison Ivy, Black. Let's see, Black Widow, Black Canary, Black Queen. Gosh, he's heavy on the things with black in it. What else we got here?
Howard likes the leather.
He does. Harley Quinn, White Queen. Can't see that one too well. Big Barda. Yeah, my lighting's really stark tonight, isn't it?
Oh yeah, that big Bart is cool.
Yeah, some sexy ladies from God knows what. Shanna, She Devil. Oh, God, the lighting is terrible. There you go. That's a little better.
Mm-hmm. That one's good.
Yeah, but see, I like that one.
Oh yeah,
that one's a nice one.
Mhm.
Then what do we got? Poison Ivy. Got a Poison Ivy, and that one's mostly pencil, which is weird. I mean, I was flipping through them, and it's like, but it's got a little bit of ink in it, but it's almost all pencil.
Well, in the last 10 or 15 years, when he does his pages, you know, he does them in pieces, but also he does like a black Prismacolor pencil on them to add like kind of depth on most of the pages. So
yeah, that's weird. I'll have to ask him when we put this one up for sale. Why did he stop at pencil? Well, who knows? But anyways, that's the new stuff I got. And I think I have one piece that didn't sell in the last sale that I've got as well. But but no cover recreations. I think he's just been really busy. So that'll be Saturday, 2:00. Everybody, please tune in. Howard's always a lot of fun to chat with. Bring your
I have 2 dedicated Howard Chaykin shelves back there. There is so much Howard Chaykin in this room. So I love Howard Chaykin. Everybody else should too.
And Mr. Easy Go Lucky, Red Sonja. I told him to draw Red Sonja, and he didn't do it. That was after the last show. We were in the green room. I told him I wanted a Red Sonja because honestly, I would have been interested in it, and he didn't draw it. What the heck, man? You can't tell Howard what to do. Howard's going to do whatever the heck Howard wants to do. That's how it works. So, all right, calling it a night. Thanks,
guys.
everyone. We'll see you again soon.
See ya.